You're welcome. I'd like to welcome here the Executive Secretary of NAETI, Dr. Orji Ogbonnaya Orji. You know, the applause we gave to him is for a civil servant, but he's a chief. You're welcome. Let me welcome Barrister Murtala Aliyu Kangiga. Kankia, okay. Acting Chairman, CCV. Abdurrahman Choko, Director of Operations, representing the EFCC Chairman. Adeshina Rahim, representing the SEC, ICPC. James Sunday, Director of Audit, Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. Let me welcome the head of the Interagency Tax Team, Mrs. Jane Onwume, to also join us here. I'd like to recognize and welcome him here, the Director of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs of the U.S. Embassy, Jason Smith. I welcome you. Thank you very much. The former head of TUGA that is here, who laid the foundation for what Mrs. Onwume is doing right now, Ms. Lillian Ekeyang is also here with us. I welcome you. Also here, I'd like to welcome let me also recognize, and I'm very sure he will be moderating one of our panels later, the founding executive director, African Center for Leadership, Strategy, and Development, Dr. Tive Iguzo is here with us. I'd like to welcome to join us up here the Deputy Country Representative of UNODC, Danilo Capisi. Did I get that? Okay, yeah, welcome. Yeah, please. But the essence of this event, earlier, before we kicked off, I saw a video playing where people were talking about the gains if the society is rid of corruption. But the essence of doing this event today is to ensure the future of the young ones who are wearing uniform at the back. So for these amazing young children, whose future we are trying to secure, whose eyes are starred looking ahead of the future and saying, our daddies and mommies, what are you doing now so that our future can be bright? Can we put our hands together for our children? Let me also recognize here Dr. Emmanuel Uche is here with us. I welcome you. Thank you very much. Okay, he is from Rolac. I understand the money you are paying them is what they are going to use to pay me. So I must have to shout your name very loud. Just pulling your legs. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I welcome all of you to the 2023 Anti-Corruption Day. Some of you will say it is that time again. Yes, it is that time again, where we beam searchlight on issues around corruption. But this year is particularly special because 20 years ago, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption by the UN General Assembly was adopted this amazing day. So this event offers us all the opportunity to reflect on what the convention actually meant by the founding fathers and how far we have gone on our journey. So I welcome all of you to this year's edition. And it is one that is packed, that will reflect on our thoughts as elderly people and the aspirations of the young ones. But to welcome all of us formally, let me welcome the hardworking woman. Even when her knee is hurting, she's still writing and moving around. I'd like to welcome her, Mrs. Jane Onwumere, head tutor, to welcome all of us.
Thank you. The Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, represented by Mrs. Victoria Ojobane, Director of PRS, Ministry of Justice. Dr. Oji Ogunaya Oji, Executive Secretary, Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Barrister Murtala Aliyu Kankia, Acting Chairman, Code of Conduct Bureau. Abdul Karim Chuko, Director of Operations, representing the Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Representing the Secretary of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission is Mr. Adeshino Rahim. Elder James Sunday, representing the Auditor General for the Federation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this high-level seminar in commemoration of the United Nations Anti-Corruption Day 2023. The 9th of December is a day designated globally to raise awareness on the negative effects of corruption on diverse aspects of our lives and to restate commitment to the fight against corruption. This year actually represents 20 years of the adoption of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, the UNCAC. Nigeria was one of the early signatories to the convention and has since shown commitment to the fight against corruption by making sure our treaty obligations are fulfilled. Part of the initiatives is the joint commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day annually on the platform of the Interagency Task Team of Anti-Corruption Agencies, the coordinating forum of agencies with anti-corruption and accountability mandates with its secretariat at the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGA. The IATT has since 2009 jointly commemorated this day. The global theme for this year's commemoration is UNCAC at 20, Uniting the World Against Corruption. This theme focuses on 20 years of implementation of the convention and provides an opportunity for states parties to the UNCAC to take stock of implementation. It also seeks to draw attention to the important role played by the UNCAC in uniting the world in the fight against corruption. This therefore gives us an opportunity to assess in detail our level of implementation of the convention, to celebrate our achievements, and strategically address challenges to determine what more needs to be done both locally and internationally. At this point, it is important to note that Nigeria signed on to the UNCAC in 2003 and ratified same in 2004. Nigeria was reviewed on her implementation of the convention under the 2 cycles of review in 2014 and 2019, respectively. The first cycle focused on criminalization and law enforcement and international cooperation. That's chapters 3 and 4 of the convention, while the second review cycle focused on prevention of corruption and asset recovery, chapters 2 and 5 of the convention. This event is therefore taking place at an auspicious time following Nigeria's stock-taking exercise of 20 years of implementation of the convention. The stock-taking report highlights initiatives put in place in response to the review reports, including achievements, gaps, and challenges. It also provides recommendations for the way forward. While this high-level seminar today creates an avenue to celebrate our achievements and good practices, we must also hold in-depth discussions on solutions to the challenges and the gaps. The Conference of State Parties to the UNCAC, the highest decision-making body in respect of the convention, will be meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, United States on the 11th to 15th of December, 2023. At this conference, global leaders will gather to make policy decisions, charting the way forward for the international community in the prevention and fight against corruption. This therefore gives us as a country the opportunity to share our accomplishments, successful practices, and challenges with delegates from all over the world. The event today will feature 2 panel sessions. The first, titled Implementation of the UNCAC, Evaluating Effectiveness of Government Anti-Corruption Initiatives Following Nigeria's Implementation Review. This panel also seeks to provide agency viewpoints on the National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2022 to 2026. The second session is titled Deploying Emerging Technology in the Fight Against Corruption. This will focus on agency experiences and highlight successes, challenges, and the way forward. We are going to get insight from experts and hold robust discussions on these topics. As is the practice, the youth are an integral part of the celebration. We need to imbibe in them the spirit of the anti-corruption drive. We must catch them young, as they are the future of our great nation. Today, we'll be hearing from 2 schools with outstanding performances at the knockout sessions of the schools debate organized by the IATT for secondary schools in Abuja. There is no doubt that the process of these debates will leave an indelible impression in their young minds on the adverse effects of corruption and the need to prevent the scourge. At this crucial time for our nation, we must recommit to collective action in preventing and addressing corruption from the roots. By reflecting on strategies, mechanisms, and initiatives we must put in place to close identified gaps and curb corruption to the barest minimum. It is only by this we can attain sustainable development. I welcome you all to this event, and we look forward to holding in-depth discussions on the issues raised. Thank you.
Let's appreciate her. Let's appreciate her. Thank you. While she was delivering her address, the Secretary to the Commission, representing the Honorable Chief Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, Hajia Salamatu Jumai Maman, walked in. She's seated here. We welcome you. Thank you very much. And the President National Council for Women's Society, Ajia Lami Adamulao, is also here. Where is she? Thank you very much. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I looked at the list of the people that are here, and it just tallies what a former Nobel laureate once said. I can see ICPC, CCB, EFCC, Ministry of Justice, and so many NGOs that are here to fight corruption. And the Nobel laureate once said that without strong watchdog institutions, impunity becomes the very foundation upon which systems of corruption are built. And if impunity is not demolished, all efforts to bring an end to corruption are in vain. Our next speaker understands this, and that is why UNODC partners with Tuga, with Nigeria, with other agencies to ensure that this event continues to go every year. Danilo Campisi from UNODC. How is Mr. Stolpe doing? He's fine. Thank you very much. It's nice to see you, although he's been around. We'll find a Nigerian name for you. I welcome you to the microphone. I welcome you. Please come over. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. Apologies for my voice, but I received a warm welcome by the Harmattan season, so I'm really struggling. So my name is Danilo Campisi. I'm the Deputy Representative of UNODC, and today I deliver few remarks on behalf of Dr. Oliver Stolpe, the country representative, who is out of the country actually to participate in the UNCAC convention anniversary in the US. So the UN Convention Against Corruption, as you all know, is the only legally binding anti-corruption instrument and a unique tool for developing a comprehensive response to a global problem. The convention covers a range of provisions that helps address different forms of corruption, including bribery, trading in influence, abuse of functions, and various acts of corruption in the private sector. This year's theme for International Anti-Corruption Day is uniting the world against corruption. Rightly so, because 2023 is the year we commemorate the 20th anniversary of the UNCAC. As we celebrate this milestone, we're also called to reflect on the positive changes brought about by the collective efforts driven by this convention. Equally crucial is our examination of the remaining gaps that require attention to ensure that this mechanism continues to be strengthened in the year ahead. Let's take time to delve into some of the achievements and lessons learned in the last 20 years. As the only legally binding instruments, 190 member states across the world are now signatories to the convention, of course, including Nigeria. As we already know, combating and preventing corruption requires a holistic framework and multi-sectoral approach. This has become even more important and relevant in the achievement of the SDG goal, the Sustainable Development Goals. Government partners, NGOs, civil society organizations, and citizens, including youth and women, must all join forces in preventing corruption at all levels. So how do we effectively implement this approach? We need a clear understanding of the underlying issues that affect the daily lives of citizens and might encourage any corrupt practices. The implementation review mechanism, also called IRM, is a peer review process that was developed to assist states parties to effectively implement the convention and reflect on their achievements. Using the term of reference, each state party is reviewed by two peers, one of which from the same regional group, which are selected by a drawing of lots at the beginning of each year of this review cycle. The IRM has undergone now 2 review cycles. The first cycles of the review mechanism started in 2010 and covers the chapters of the Convention on Criminalization and Law Enforcement and International Cooperation. And the second cycle, which was launched in November 2015, covers the chapters on preventive measures and asset recovery. In both cycles, 188 countries were reviewed successfully. However, in the first cycle, while we have 176 executive summaries produced by states parties, only 83 have been produced so far in the second cycle. Relevant mandates regarding the future of the IRM beyond its current review phase is now under discussion, and a decision will be presented at the 10th session of the Conference of State Parties of the UNCAC Conventions, which will take place in the US in Atlanta from 11th to 15th December. Let me commend Nigeria for being one of the countries that have been very active in the entire IRM processes. It has been reviewed in both cycles and published an executive summary and full report actually for both cycles. So well done, Nigeria. You really deserve a round of applause. Nigeria also need to build on the recent stock-taking exercise, which allows them to self-assess the extent to which they are implementing the convention. From this exercise, we see a lot of progress being made in the area of asset recovery, including the passing of the Proceeds of Crime Act and sponsoring at least 5 resolutions on asset recovery in the last 20 years. However, more effort is required in the corruption prevention chapter. Another important point emerging is addressing gaps in transparency, integrity, and accountability in governmental and non-governmental organizations. At the core of these values are the attitudes of citizens and their government to issues of corruption. In fostering a culture of integrity, transparency, and accountability, citizens and the government must take an active part in establishing policies or frameworks and cultivating behavior through enforcement of established framework or policy that discourage corruption practices. It is in such transformation that the daily lives of citizens are improved and positively affected. Finally, let me speak a bit about the data-driven anti-corruption action. How do we know that our little efforts are yielding results? Again, kudos to Nigeria for leading in this area in Africa and beyond. The National Bureau of Statistics with UNODC has undertaken 2 corruption surveys, the largest in the African region. The survey reports provide some valuable insight that allow us to begin to think of critical targeted intervention that can help the government and citizens' attitude or approaches to fight corruption. For example, the 2019 survey highlights citizens' responses to bribery, noting the following. This is very interesting. Of the 30% of Nigerians in contact with a public officer who paid or were asked to pay a bribe, 24% always paid. 4.5% sometimes paid and other times refused to pay. But what is really alarming is that just 1.4% always refused to pay after a request and never paid. Additionally, of all bribe payers, just 3.6% reported their experience to an official authorities, and this same item was 3.7% in 2016. So in general, the survey highlights a shift in the attitudes of the public about corruption and other issues affecting Nigeria. It is critical that we begin use an evidence-based approach in designing our anti-corruption interventions. This should apply to all levels of governments and society. Strengthening a culture of integrity among public officials through greater transparency, accountability, and motivation. For example, through trainings, periodic performance evaluation, behavioral change intervention awards can lead to positive change within the public service and among citizens and should be encouraged. Additionally, the fight against corruption will benefit from a stronger system for reporting corruption, promote awareness, increase the responsiveness of the system, introduce secure reporting channels, follow up on reports, and so on. Let me conclude by reiterating that the long-term success of the fight against corruption is embedded in ensuring effective preventive strategies to help preempt and mitigate such corrupt behavior. Let me use this opportunity as well to thank and congratulate our top 10 youth entries in the region in the recent social media campaign, Corruption-Free Niger. I think they're all connected online today. And the campaign was a common efforts and collaboration between UNODC, ICPC, and EFCC. There's always a joy seeing youth being part of the fight against corruption. As we mark the 20th anniversary of the UNCEC Convention, let us seize this opportunity to better understand the nature and scale of corruption in Nigeria so that we might redouble our effort in the fight against corruption and achieve meaningful change in the lives of ordinary Nigerians. Thank you all for your partnership and continuous collaboration in the fight against corruption, and congratulations to the integrity icons.
Well, you have heard it from UNODC. Some people say Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, but he's saying that we're making progress in the right direction. Let's put our hands together for him. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to quickly welcome to take a seat on the high table the Federal Commissioner at CCB, Professor Juwairiya Badamasi. Professor is a very humble person. We welcome you. Thank you. And so, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is one of Nigeria's finest broadcast journalists before he became what he is today. And even in those days, he was known as Mr. Integrity. So as far as he's concerned, Integrity, transparency, and anti-corruption should be part of our culture. If we embed this in our fundamental values, you begin to grow it. He's Executive Secretary of NATE. Please join us. I welcome here Dr. Orji Obonaya Orji.
Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you very much. Sorry. The Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, ably represented by Mrs. Achobena, fellow heads of agencies and members of the interagency tax team, our colleagues, leaders of the civil society that are here, and the media, development partners, especially the rule of law and anti-corruption of the British Council, the UNODC, friendly diplomatic nations that have enlisted in this struggle with us, and our children from the selected secondary schools who are here. We welcome you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I feel privileged today to stand as we mark the 20th anniversary of the United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day for the year 2023. I would like to thank all our fellow partners, agencies under the interagency tax team, the UNODC, development partners, diplomatic missions, civil society organizations, anti-corruption champions in government at all levels, and our colleagues in the media. We also thank the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, MacArthur Foundation, the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Project of the British Council, private sector organizations, and all of us that are gathered here. 20 years after Nigeria adopted ONCAC, notable efforts have been made, no doubt. However, the latest corruption perception index that put Nigeria 154 out of 180 countries clearly shows that we are very, very far behind and far from reaching our destination. In the oil and gas and mining sectors where NITE operates, corruption is still a major constraint to the realization of the impacts of the natural resources that this country has been endowed with. This is in spite of groundbreaking recommendations, courageous disclosures that NITE has placed information and data on the table. Still perhaps the only rich country that I know of in the whole world that is confronted with outright stealing of crude oil. I'm not aware of any other country where illegal mining is almost common everywhere. Outright stealing of crude and our national assets, pipeline vandalization, illegal mining, daylight stealing of solid minerals painfully by foreigners in collusion with our own citizens. I'm not aware of any other country at the moment. Oil theft alone, Nigeria lost 619 million barrels of crude, valued at $46.166 billion, or 16.25 trillion naira between 2009 and 2020. We are still computing 2021, 2022, and 2023 about to end. In addition, the country lost 4.2 billion liters of petroleum products from refineries, valued at $1.84 billion. That's at the rate of 140,000 barrels per day between 2009 and 2018. The figures for 2019, 2020 to 2023 are not added. Pipelines that are considered critical national assets in other climes are openly vandalized in Nigeria. In the past 5 years, 2017 to 2021, Nigeria recorded 7,143 cases of pipeline vandalization and outright breakages of those national assets, deliberate stealing of crude through those pipelines. And if you put the figure resulting in pipeline theft and crude losses, you will discover that Nigeria lost 208.63 million barrels of crude, valued at $12.74 million, or in Naira, 4.32 trillion. That at the old exchange rate, not now. 90 reports also disclose that during the same period, Nigeria spent 471.493 billion to repair or maintain these pipelines. The motive behind all this is not just corruption, it's simply our culture of getting wealthy, getting rich without any work. We therefore need to review our commitments and approach to the war against corruption. Our new approach requires closer partnerships, as we are all gathered here, collaboration in sharing information and data, human capital development, passion and interest to enlist in the fight, including interagency cooperation, in order for us to work together. The time has also come for us in the IATT to convene a special workshop, and we are appealing to donors here to show interest in this, to review the objectives and goals of the interagency task team. The review will require SWOT analysis of what has worked and what has not over these years, and how we can adopt a new approach, including opportunities to open our doors to new members. UNODC has done very well with other development partners, but at 20, Uniting the World Against Corruption, which is the theme for this year's celebration, aligns with the new focus of EITI globally, which 90 implements in Nigeria. We are here because we remain committed to the promotion of accountability in our country, especially in the extractive sector, through regular disclosure of information and data. And our goal remains to deploy that data and information in the hands of the citizens, to use this information and data, ask informed questions, hold government and companies accountable. A move that will require collaboration to ensure that reforms are put in place that will result to reasonable impact. So shining the light on transactions and operations in the Nigeria's oil and gas sector is so key, because oil is the mainstay of our economy for now. Most importantly, the information and data we provided is key in helping us to promote public debate, incentivize reforms, and agree on policy options for our country. Through years of extensive independent reports in this sector, 90 reports have led to very impactful reforms: revenue recovery, mobilization and growth to the economic growth to the tune of over $7.2 billion. That's what 90 reports has incentivized through interagency collaboration with either companies that manage or receive revenues from the industry. The EITI process complements government's efforts of all agencies that are gathered here to push for a robust accountability and transparency mechanism required by our country to push the boundaries of the fight against corruption from where it is now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to inform us that NAITI, representing Nigeria in the process, saw Nigeria scaled through its global assessment by the Global Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, announced globally around the world just last week. Our country was assessed on implementation of EITI in 3 major fronts: outcomes and impact, transparency, and our ability to engage with partners and stakeholders. On outcomes and impact, Nigeria recorded, through 90's work, 92 points out of 100. I think we deserve an applause. (92/100) is not by any means easy, and these are globally acknowledged in a board chaired by the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, in which no Nigerian is a member of the board, and globally assessed. It came out 92/100 from the work we have done. Nigeria also recorded another 90 points on integrity of data being dished out by NAITI, comprehensiveness of report, and how our report has contributed to economic growth. That's another 90 points. We deserve an applause. In addition to adherence to legal frameworks and other key indices. In other words, Nigeria's global assessment has put enough energy and encouragement to the anti-corruption fight in our country. What we are saying is with the support of global partners, local and international partners that are here, this fight can be won if we rely on the use of information and data and engage on this fight with information and data constructively. NAITI has already presented this report to government. There are also areas where the report highlighted our areas of deficiency, which we need to work on. And we are very encouraged that the government has accepted the report, congratulating NAITI and reaffirming their readiness to work with us to correct areas of deficiency. As a member of the interagency task team, we believe that cooperation and partnership will help a great deal. We are reaffirming our membership of the IITT, reaffirming our commitment to this fight, and offering our support to support all agencies with reliable information and data. On this note, I would like to call on all stakeholders gathered here today to feel free to have a robust discussion on issues that center on promoting transparency and strengthening accountability, especially those institutions at the center of the fight, in order to create an atmosphere of sustainable peace, security, and overall development of our country. I wish you all a fruitful deliberation.
Well delivered. Let's appreciate him one more time. Thank you very much. What I will just reassure you is that from the data he has given about oil theft and how much it's worth, don't be scared. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't worry, they are doing something about it. Let's appreciate Nigeria one more time. Let's appreciate Nigeria. I'd like to welcome and recognize here, representing NAFDAC, Mrs. Ugochi Christine Favor. She's here with us. I welcome you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I will appeal to those that will be giving goodwill messages. I'm appealing for 2.5 minutes. If you go to 3 minutes, that'll be okay, but that'll be outside the budget. So let me kick off with my friend. He's looking at me. It will take you half a minute to walk from there to this place, and then you deliver for 2.5 minutes. Let me welcome here Jason Smith from the U.S. Embassy. He's making it faster.
Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps and valued partners. Please allow me to stand on existing protocols. It is my honor to be here with you today as we come together to celebrate the UN International Anti-Corruption Day, held annually to raise awareness on the effects of corruption on society. In particular, it is exciting, and it is our honor as the United States to be hosting the Conference of State Parties, COS10, scheduled to start next Monday, December 11th. And as we seek to work with the government of Nigeria and international partners to reinforce anti-corruption efforts in Nigeria. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to our dedicated participants, including the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, the European Union, the MacArthur Foundation, the Nigerian anti-corruption agencies, and other government partners who continue to work tirelessly towards strengthening anti-corruption efforts in Nigeria. In particular, I would like to recognize and extend special thanks to the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGAR, whose collaboration and expertise are indispensable to the success of this annual event. Democratic societies are strengthened when citizens believe that elected governments serve the people. That belief is imperiled when individuals put their own self-interests over their public responsibilities and corruption occurs. The work we are all doing is more than the sum of its parts. It is a beacon for change and a call to action to fight against corruption globally. COS10 will be a testament to what can be accomplished when committed partners converge towards a common goal. Our collaboration sets a precedent, not just for Nigeria, but for the entire world, because what affects Nigeria has the potential to impact beyond its borders, illuminating the path towards and benefits of robust anti-corruption efforts. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and commitment. Together, we are contributing to a fairer, more just society and helping build confidence in democratic institutions. Let's continue this important work with conviction and hope for the brighter days ahead. Thank you.
Now, please, for delivery in less than 2 minutes, you will see on the light table. Please get me, sit there, don't go down, just Now, any other person that wants to sit somewhere else, you deliver in less than 2 minutes. Let me welcome here the acting chairman of CCB, Barrister Murtala Aliyu Kalika. He's already on the high table. Where will we place him if he does too much less than 2 minutes?
Let me stand on the already established protocol. I'm indeed delighted to be at this occasion. Wish to present greetings to all Nigerians this morning on the occasion of the World's Anti-Corruption Day celebration 2023. On behalf of members and management of the Code of Conduct Bureau, I would like to join other anti-corruption agencies in thanking the organizers and supporters of this great event for the opportunity to demonstrate the Code of Conduct Bureau's support to the national campaign toward zero tolerance to corruption by the present administration. Permit me to reiterate, as always, that a day like this calls for sober reflection It invites everyone, political and religious leaders, government and private sector, non-state actors and lobby groups to work together against this evil called corruption. Ceremonies like this are meant to educate the public on the ills of corruption and how to summon them. The Bureau is therefore positioned and committed to the enlightenment of the general public on the need to shun and expose corruption. You can see that by the souvenir distributed, by the campaign going on and on in every agencies of government and all over the states and local governments. You can see that the Bureau is bent in collaborating with other anti-corruption agencies to assist in fight against this menace called corruption. Many countries of the world are in agreement that the best way of fighting corruption is by prevention. Chapter 2, Article 5 of the United Nations Convention on Corruption have strongly on preventive measures by stating that each state party to the convention shall endeavor to establish and promote effective practice aimed at the prevention of corruption. If this aspect is effectively handled, the question of asset tracing and recovery will have limitless stress. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the issues of asset tracking, especially in Nigerian context, start with the Code of Conduct Bureau. This is because corruption prevention begins with proper asset declaration. Accountability demands that public office holders should be subjected to scrutiny and institutional reviews of their activities in and out of office. One of the major index of identifying official corruption is the manifestation of physical and monetary assets accumulated from illegitimate earnings. Therefore, demanding for proper declaration is the first step, getting them exposed to what is acquired illegitimately. In a bid to make declarations less cumbersome, the Bureau has institutionalized the online asset declaration. The Bureau portal is fully developed, and the trial procedure with a number of MDAs has shown tremendous improvement over the first method of analog declarations. As at November ended 2023, a total of 15,208 declarants have registered on the portal. This number is just from the 47 MDAs uploaded on the portal. The Bureau is working tirelessly to ensure that all other MDAs and political office holders are on the portal by the middle of 2024. In concluding this remark, I wish to quote our famous compatriot Chinua Achebe from his book, The Trouble with Nigeria. He said, and I quote, "Nigerians are corrupt because the system under which they live today make corruption easy and profitable," meaning that maybe those who are saddled with the responsibility to fight corruption, they will allow people to go punished for doing what they know is really an act of corruption. We must first, therefore, to hold any meaningful discussion on corruption, we must first locate it where it belongs, in the ranks of the powerful. I wish you all peaceful 2023 anti-corruption ceremonies. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
You know, before he came here, we made sure we declared our assets. And we told ourselves we have only 3 minutes. But because he's a very judicious manager, he has exhausted the whole 3 minutes. So let's appreciate him. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have looked at the program and I understand that ICPC and EFCC will also be part of the panel discussion. So they're already winking at me. I can see my sister Aisha in the audience, and she's telling me EFCC will do 1.5 minutes when they come to speak here. Is that correct, Aisha? Yes, thank you. So let me welcome here the Secretary, representing the Secretary of ICPC, Mr. Adesina Rahim. If you see his face cap, he's digital, he's going to do 1 minute.
Thanks so much. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, ably represented, Acting Chairman of CCB, Director General NAITI, Head of TUGA, representatives for UNODC, Country Rep, other protocols really observed. ICPC has a chairman now. Chairman has been appointed for the ICPC, but is yet to assume office. The person that is heading the ICPC now is the Secretary to the Commission, Mr. Clifford Paradu. So he's supposed to be here, but he went for one important national assignment. He now directed him to come to deliver this short video speech on his behalf. He sent his apologies. So I'm going to read this short message. You are welcome to the 2023 United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day with the theme UN UNCAC at 20, United in War Against Corruption. 20 years, the life of any organization, especially a global UN convention, aimed at combating corruption is worthy of celebration. Efforts have been made and still being made to combat corruption. But the reality is that there's still a lot to do to eradicate or reduce corruption to the barest minimum. Therefore, to say that corruption remains a global issue that needs a united action is to restate the obvious. It also hurts and can't be overemphasized. Corruption is ubiquitous and it manifests in various forms. It includes bribery, fraud, embezzlement, contract scam, money laundering, abuse of position and functions, contract inflation, etc. at the federal, state, local government level, and even in the private sector, as well as multinationals. The battle against corruption has been on for a while. It is important to emphasize that it's not only the sole responsibility of dedicated anti-corruption agencies and other government institutions to fight corruption, but also the collective action of each and every one of us as citizens of this great country, Nigeria, and the African continent. The vision of ICPC is to see Nigeria completely free of all forms of corruption and corrupt practices, while its mission is to rid Nigeria of corruption through law enforcement and preventive measures. Therefore, to achieve these goals, ICPC is supposed to making the fight against corruption agenda, good governance, actualize the sustainable development goals, and achieve what Jeremy Bentham postulates as the greatest happiness of the greatest number. These 30 goals align with the UN call for collective action with a high sense of responsibility. I'm optimistic that this event will provide a platform for the exchange of robust ideas that will enhance and strengthen the fight against corruption for the overall development of Nigeria and the African continent in general. I have no doubt that together we can defeat corruption. What is needed is our collective and united action. Thank you.
You know, Mr. Adesina, we have done an audit and we found that you don't embezzle the time. There is no corruption within 2 minutes. Let's appreciate it. So I hope the Director of Operations will operate well here by doing 2 minutes as I welcome here Mr. Abdulkarim Choko from EFCC.
Thank you very much. The Attorney General of the Federation, the heads of agencies and their representatives, our development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to be given the opportunity to share our thoughts and perspective with this esteemed audience and my colleagues in the anti-corruption front lines. Let me start by stating that collaboration is fundamental and cannot be substituted in the successes we make or hope to make in our patriotic struggle to rid our country of corruption and economic and financial crimes. Collaboration speaks strongly to the fact that neither the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission nor any other agency in the business of fighting corruption can do it alone. The multidimensional nature of corruption and sophisticated tactics which antisocial elements now deploy in ensuring that they defraud others or expropriate our commonwealth and protect proceeds of their crimes for themselves and families make collaboration compelling. Having identified corruption as an existential threat fatal to the survival of our nations and their people, the only one option left for the global community is to unite in battle against it. The world understands that corruption can be hedged in, and as such, have at various times fashioned bilateral and multilateral treaties and protocols and instruments of warfare against the scourge. What will be of greater concern is the enhancement of our global counter-instruments, bringing them continuously up to a cutting edge that will make it impossible for antisocial elements who operate in transborder rings to evade and circumvent them. The thematic focus of the 2023 Anti-Corruption Day is a wake-up call for us as humanity and nation states to raise the bar of global cooperation and synergy in the anti-corruption war. This can find expression in enhanced intelligence, sharing, capacity building, field operation, collaboration, and renewed commitment to effective mutual legal assistance across jurisdictions. Our mandate as anti-graft agencies is to ensure that corruption and the corrupt do not win against the country and its citizens. Taking the corrupt down is a full-scale war for us in the EFCC. Under my watch, the Commission will not pull its punches, no matter who is involved. We will fight corruption with renewed energy and zeal. On this note, I wish us fruitful engagement and hope that the world will unite more in rolling back corruption and taking down the corrupt for a more prosperous society. Thank you for listening.
Straight to the point, forceful, digitally compliant, fantastic from EFCC. Thank you very much. Let me quickly welcome here Dr. Emmanuel Uche from ROLAC for his own comment.
Good morning, everyone. Let me stand on the existing protocols, but I'd like to sincerely spend 10 seconds of my own time to recognize 3 people here that I see making a world of difference. First, give it to the Executive Director of NAITI. God bless you. Please help me give it to my own sister, Mrs. Ojobane. Help me give it to my friends at Tuga. God bless you. I'm not good at praising people, but if you see people who are making a difference, please let's celebrate them and encourage them to do more. I bring you warm greetings from the European Union Commission, particularly from the International Institute for Electoral Assistance. Okay, that's International IDEA. That's the new organization implementing ROLAC 2. The Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program has been with us for the past 10 years, more, supporting far-reaching reforms of the justice landscape as well as the anti-corruption landscape. It is currently being implemented by International IDEA, but funded by the European Union. And on this particular day, if there is any message we need to remind ourselves, it is to say, while we join the whole world to say, let's unite in the fight against corruption, can we also bring it home and ensure that there is greater unity among our people, among the different institutions that's meant to fight corruption? Importantly, we have a lot of beautiful anti-corruption initiatives that stems down from the UNCAC that we have already put in place. The National Anti-Corruption Strategy, the National Ethics and Integrity Strategy, the Justice Sector Reform Strategy. So many strategies out there. How many of them are we stepping down to the subnational level? Each of these strategies is meant to affect over 200 million Nigerians. As institutions, we need to start thinking at impact at scale. I'd like to remind us, we focus a lot on pursuing those bigger level fight against corruption things, which we call mega corruption. Mega corruption may be more like fighting the monkey that is plucking the fruit on the tree. But if we overlook petty corruption, which happens at the local government level, which happens in our institutions, happens in our markets, everybody is enmeshed until we begin to step it down to fighting petty corruption and reduce our fight to service level improvements so that the everyday Nigerian can begin to feel the impact of this fight. Then we may not have started. I want us to begin to think of uniting in the fight against corruption as a way to uniting everyone across board, across subnational levels, and get everybody involved in the fight against corruption. Let's step it down to our homes, to our schools, to our communities. Let's involve our traditional rulers. And by the mercies of God, this is the
Thank you. The tradition is that we do 2 minutes. I hope you don't mind. Okay, thank you.
Good day, everybody. Please, may I stand on the already existing protocol? It is my pleasure to be here. This is a goodwill message by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and I'm here representing him. It is my pleasure to be here at and this momentous occasion in the high level, sorry, don't mind me, it's in my phone, high level seminar commemorating the United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day. It is indeed an honor to convey our collective commitment to this crucial cause of combating corruption as we unite under the team UNAG at 20 United Organization. The seminar holds special significance as it reflects our shared dedication to the principles outlined in the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Also, the team underscores the need for global cooperation in our relentless pursuit of the world free from the scourge of corruption. The two insightful panel sessions aptly tried implementation of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Additionally, we anticipate valuable insights into the evaluation of Nigerians' implementation of UNCTAD, providing a comprehensive understanding of the strengths and areas of improvement, focusing on the use of emerging technology. Itself presents an opportunity to explore successful endeavors, address challenges, and collectively chart the way forward in leveraging technology as a powerful tool to fight corruption. I wish you a successful seminar as we go ahead. Thank you.
You know, technology at times can be funny. As we try to have a paperless operation, you have your tablet and it will begin to misfunction. You know, that was what happened there. But can we put our hands together for this amazing woman? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Our regards to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. We appreciate you. Finally, on our goodwill message, from the Center for Democracy and Development, do we have a representative here? CDD? Huh? Okay, all right. So without much ado, we will take our keynote address, and this will be coming from the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, represented here by the Director of PRS. Please welcome here, Mrs. Victoria Ojobani.
Good morning. The Executive Chairman, Naezi, allow me stand on the well-established protocol. I want to make the apologies of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. He's presently out of the country on state matters. Having said that, I must commend all the persons who have given goodwill messages. You have spoken from your hearts, and your words have impact upon this nation. Let me quickly say that going forward, the words and the thoughts that you'll be hearing hereafter are not mine, but that of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation. This is a keynote address by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Olasukami Fagbemi-San, at this commemoration of the United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day. It is my honor and delight to be invited to this year's commemoration of the United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day. It is indeed a privilege to address this distinguished gathering of Nigerians and international partners who are passionate about the eradication of corruption and all its traces in the world. I thank you all for your understanding and your contributions and support to the anti-corruption fight in Nigeria. I must also commend the organizers of this annual program. Nigeria's response to the recommendation of the UNCAC country review of the first and second cycle highlighted improvements and initiatives made since the review. Our position has been communicated to the UNODC, stating clearly efforts made by governments to address gaps in the stock-taking reports 2014 and 2019. I believe a detailed response will be shared by the IATT during the panel sessions. The National Anti-Corruption Strategy has a vision, and that vision is to have a Nigeria free of corruption for sustainable human development. The strategy has a mission, and the mission is to provide a holistic national anti-corruption strategy for all sectors and stakeholders in the fight against corruption. The Federal Executive Council under President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, at his 25th meeting held on Wednesday, the 5th of July, 2017, approved the adoption of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and directed the then Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to come up with a robust implementation plan for the NACS 2017 to 2021. At the expiration of the first phase of the NACS, the Federal Executive Council on the 23rd of November 2022 considered and approved the extension of the NACS 2017 to 2021 for a period of 4 years. Pursuant to the approval by the FEC, the ministry, in collaboration with the IATT, continued to interface with NDAs on the review of the NACS policy document and the development of the NACS action plan for 2022 to 2026. As you are aware, the framework for the implementation of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy is focused on 5 pillars, which serves as the driving force for both the public and the private sector. The pillars are prevention of corruption, public engagement, campaign for ethical reorientation, enforcement and sanction, and recovery and management of proceeds of crime. Each of these pillars will be implemented under the following headings. 1, strengthening the legal and institutional framework designed to prevent and combat corruption, mainstreaming anti-corruption principles into governance and service delivery, and mainstreaming anti-corruption into subnational public administration. It is important to state that the NACS 2022 to 2026 is expected to be implemented at the national, state, and local governments. At the national level, the responsibility for the implementation of the NACS rests on me. At the state level, the responsibility rests on the executive governor of the state, but for implementation, the Attorney General of the state is charged with the responsibility for implementing the NACS. At the local government level, the chairman of the area council is responsible for implementation under the supervision of the executive governor of the state. The NACS Interministerial Committee is charged with the responsibility of facilitating the NACS anti-corruption funding framework and the development of sector-specific strategies in line with the NACS policy. The inauguration of the IMC and the launch of the NACS 2022 to 2026 is therefore a very critical activity, which hopefully will be carried out in the first quarter of the year 2024. The members of the IMC are as follows. Under my office as chair, I have the Minister of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Information and Culture, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, the Chairman, House Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, and the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, not below the rank of a permanent secretary. Achievements of the implementation of the NACS 2017 to 2021. One of the key achievements is the establishment of a secretariat at the Federal Ministry of Justice for the implementation of the NACS, the development of implementation tools for the NACS vis-a-vis the action plan and the monitoring and evaluation committee, collaborations with heads of anti-corruption agencies, sensitization workshops of all NDAs under the IATT to review the progress of the implementation of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy. Monitoring and evaluation exercise for ministries, departments, and agencies identified as pilot MDAs for the implementation of the anti-corruption strategy. The baseline survey conducted revealed the following results. 86.4% of agencies are aware of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy. 76.2% have significant level of buy-in at the MDA level. 73.3% have the organizational capacity to implement the strategy and have a functional anti-corruption transparency unit. 63.6% have the technical capacity to mainstream NACS and its action plan and M&E framework into the work plan of their NDs. 76.2% have a monitoring and reporting framework on the strategy. 100% have public access to information at the organizational level, especially on their MDAs and NACS implementing efforts. 53.6% have funding and budgetary constraints on NACS implementation, and 90.9% enjoy extremely high level of partnership coordination and collaboration with other agencies in the implementation of the strategy and other related activities. The development and domestication of NACS by the following states is also a very critical success of the first phase of the national strategy. And the states are Anambra, Adamawa, Kano, and Lagos State. What is the way forward for the NACS 2022 to 2026? After a successful election and transition, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, JCFR, is determined to strengthen the fight against corruption at all levels and ensure prudent utilization of resources for sustainable economic growth and development. In ensuring the above, the 8 presidential priorities of the present administration has as a key priority the anti-corruption stance. This priority seeks to prevent corruption and strengthen the effectiveness and efficiency of various anti-corruption agencies. To ensure effective deliverable, my office has been charged with the critical performance indicators which will ensure percentage implementation of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and the coordination of mechanisms involved in the anti-corruption efforts. To this end, I signed the performance bond on the 3rd of November 2023. Some of the laws enacted to strengthen the fight against corruption are as follows: the NFIU Act 2018, the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2019, the ACJA 2015, the Public Procurement Act, Bankers and Other Financial Institutions Act, the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act, the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act, Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Acts, and the Company and Allied Matters Act. The present administration is committed to the continuous deployment of digital technology to prevent, identify, manage conflicts of interest. The following are a few of the efforts of government: automation of government processes, establishment of the Nigerian Open Contracting Portal, bank verification number, the IPs, Treasury single account, government integrated financial and management information system, deployment of an online crime reporting application called the Eagle Eye, online asset declaration, as we have been told. Furthermore, the following activities and programs are earmarked for immediate implementation: the official launch of the NACS 2022 to 2026 by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Robust interface with the Governors Forum and relevant stakeholders at subnational level. Inauguration of the NACS Interministerial Committee. Activation of the anti-corruption funding framework. Development and validation of the NACS action plan. Engagement with state and non-state actors. Compliance with the reporting time frame provided in the NACS action plan. Improve cooperation, collaboration, and synergy among MDAs, anti-corruption agencies, and law enforcement agencies, and other relevant stakeholders. Legislative advocacy and robust interface with the NACS to ensure speedy passage of pending anti-corruption bills, and the incorporation of the NACS into the strategic plan and activities of MDAs, ACAs, and LEAs. Let me conclude. I use this opportunity to commend the IATT, the UNODC, the EU, all our donor partners, the CDD/MacArthur Foundation, for your support in the anti-corruption fight. Thank you for listening.
Well, the round of applause we gave to her is a personal emolument. Let's give her something for the minister, please. And so we will reshuffle the team. Some people have been playing first 11 right here on the top table. We'll take them to the bench, and then we'll bring other people to see who can win this match today. All right, so if you hear your name, you remain on the field. That means you remain on the top table. The Honorable Minister of Justice will remain on the top table. Yes, you are part of the first panel. You are part of the first panel. Let's put our hands together for the Auditor General of the Federation representative is on the top table. You remain there. Barrister Rahim, you're also on the top table. You are there, remaining there. Hajia Salamatu is also remaining on the table. Now, the rest, let's begin to put our hands together for them as they step down. Thank you. Let me welcome here Mr. Charles Abana Esquire, Deputy Director, Fiscal Responsibility Commission, if you're in the room. Oh, he looks dapper. I welcome you. Mr. Suleiman Daudu. Mr. Suleiman Daudu. Thank you. And now the moderator Ms. Lillian Ekayam. Maybe that comment will be going to the moderator. This session is for 30 minutes inclusive of Q&A. Well, you being the class monitor all the while you are there, so that you know what to do. Do we put you at the middle or somewhere? Okay, yeah.
Ways of making the implementation of the convention more effective following Nigeria's review of implementation of the UN Convention Against Corruption. The NC has already told us that we have just 30 minutes, so we are going to speak for not more than 4 minutes each, and then, or 3 minutes actually, and then we have the audience respond. Because this is an opportunity for the various agencies to give an account of performance to the general public. We have here at this table today the ICPC, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, the Public Complaints Commission, and the Civil Society of the Future, representing Center for Fiscal Transparency. As we have been told earlier, Nigeria signed on to the convention as one of the earliest participants, and has been reviewed twice, 2014 and 2018, for the implementation of the convention. Now we're going to look at how agencies have responded to some of the issues raised by the review meeting. A total of 65 recommendations were given to Nigeria after the 2 cycles of review. I'm going to start with the ICPC on a very positive note. It looks for gaps and challenges of implementation. It also looks for success stories worthy of emulation by other countries. In Nigeria's recommendation in the 2nd cycle, under the chapter on preventive measures, a success story that the reviewers found on behalf of Nigeria is the establishment by Nigeria for several years now of the anti-corruption and transparency units within the anti-corruption agency, within the ministries, departments, and agencies. They find this a very useful practice, worthy of recommendation for other countries to emulate. So it was one of the positive notes of Nigeria's review. My question now to the ICPC is, how is the Actus program functioning? And we also know that it is not a perfect program. There is room for improvement. In particular, what the ICPC is doing to ensure the independence of the Actus in the various entities and to make the initiative more productive. Mr. Adeshina, you have 2.5 minutes to respond to it. You're already going.
you so much. Anti-corruption and transparent is up to. The acronym is up to. It is established pursuant to Section 6 of the ICPC Act, Anti-Corrupt Services Act 2000. You know, ICPC has a mandate to not only to investigate and put corruption cases, we also have a mandate to prevent corruption. So, pursuant to Section 6B to D of the Executive Act of ICPC, we now establish another provision provides that ICPC shall have the power to go to MBAs and look at the system and practices of the MBAs and see whether or not those practices are state of corruption. So where we feel that those practices are not practices of corruption, now what is called system review, the rest of them review, and now make recommendations to those agents and these organizations to fill the gap. So, but we are not anywhere. Practices are not anywhere. That is why we consider the idea of establishing up to each of the MBAs. And then from, and you know, we don't have the authority over the MBAs. What we did was that we get the approval of the head of service to establish the MBAs to establish the non-MBAs. So far, we've had about 490 actions. That is actions established about 490 MBAs. So, by a circular of Attorney General and head of service, I won't want to bore you with the number of circulars here. It was listed 210,1 and 2 other circulars that are facilitate operation of capital. We have this, we are able to establish actually about 490 so far. What are they doing? They are the call them mini ICPC. Mini ICPC are the one that represent ICPC and the new days. Because the idea is that the staff of MBAs, they are the ones that know how corruptions are perpetrated inside MBAs. They know the causes, they know the agents of corruption, and also know in-house solutions to this problem. That is why we feel that the have to be effective in these organizations. And what they do is that they monitor the spending of projects, we do project implementation, monitor it. We also do some other report statistics when they get information about corruption like this. We report to the HSBC, the next issue not take matter. They do not prosecute. We of corruption cases twice. So that's our own core mandate. Now, the achievement of these actions is that there's no more impunity in the days. Because once we start to know that actually has been established, is present in the enemy, they always very careful. Because apart from the fact that we get anonymous petitions from outside, the active members, they are courageous enough to inform the activities about corruption. They also do the develop code of conduct, code of ethics, and corruption prevention guidelines. In fact, I'm happy to tell you that we have about 30 actions now that have developed code of ethics and corruption prevention guidelines in their organizations. So another thing they do is sensitization, sensitizations, and we always give them materials. In fact, sometimes we get funding from agencies like for foundation, about the foundation, and we give them this money to verify and use special programs for their staff. You know, when people do corruption, sometimes there's possible. So these are actually members, they do that, that's what they do. Then this will also conduct system study in our organization to prevent corruption. I want to tell you that one university in Nigeria, that's UNICOR, that was what we call a university, and it was up to of that particular university that informed us about humanitarian and are able to go there and sanitize the place. Another one is the federal process in the beginning. Here, a report and addition of discussion by academic staff to the university. We reported to us and we also about it. They are also happy to tell you that the RCP Circle report sexual harassment and abuse response team, which was established in 2022. There was a particular lecturer in Ife, one professor Richard, the sexual demand, sexual demand from the students, the participants, and that member of that particular area was the lady that was victim reported to have to an inform us, and we were able to arrest the man, the man, and one was convicted of sentenced to a 4-point imprisonment in that situation of fact. So we also use the community from children that are here. Please, everybody needs harassing sexually. Report to happen in your schools or in your organization, and cannot report to us. Then they also do an education. Let me do the challenges.
I know you have a lot to say, but perhaps during our various interaction, we have more opportunities to speak. We have just 30 minutes. Young people here, you have a friend in ICT, if there's any anomaly going on in school. To my right, I'm going to ask the representative of the Public Complaints Commission, still flowing from the Nigerian Academy. As a Nigerian ombudsman, citizens will have more confidence in the anti-corruption agenda if they can report corruption without any consequences, any negative consequences. To that effect, one of the review recommendations that Nigeria should pass an entity law, the Whistleblowers Protection Law. And I know the last assembly did pass that law, but it has not been signed by the president. And I also know that the Public Complaints Commission was at the forefront of campaigning for the enactment of that law. Please, can you shed more light on the whistleblower protection program as being run by your agency, and what is the status of the whistleblower protection law at the moment?
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commissioner of Conducting, all of us for being here to celebrate our 20th year in anti-corruption drive. In line with the Articles 25 of the OPCAC, we view that calls of measure to strengthen the implementation of obstruction of justice. We deal for an act to provide a legal framework for making public interest disclosure and to protect whistleblower before the National Assembly. Actually, last year we did all we could to ensure that the bill was signed, but unfortunately that was not achieved. However, the exercise process is still ongoing, and current assembly are already working on the developments. For purpose of members, I want to let you know that the resolution of the 7th General Assembly of the African Ombudsman and Mediator held last week in Kigali, Rwanda, which was attended by the Honorable Chief Commissioner, is for the Ombudsman institution in Africa to reinforce whistleblowing protection mechanisms to encourage the work of ethical practices and strengthening collaboration between and among the anti-corruption agencies. For purpose of clearer understanding, we've been in the business of dealing with corruption, and in our own case, we specialize in administrative injustices. There is no corruption that can be successfully carried out. Any act of corruption cannot be achieved without starting with the administrative aspects of whatever any individual wishes to carry out, from documentation documentation, from processes, all this. If you skip any of the line items, or you do not do them the right way they ought to be done, definitely you will collapse into corruption. And this is seen in all aspects of our efforts to see that we step down corruption in Nigeria. Since ours is a paper, we go through processes of paper checking, we have come to tax with seeing so many unusual behaviors. For instance, today, majority of our youths are dealing with the issue of their age because of their delay in universities. Some going to university at the age of 15, 16, 17. Those reading engineering end up spending 10 years in some cases because of strikes and all that. Now what we have is you have people who are now adjusting their age and their age to be able to conform and to benefit from the service. All this, you see them through paper documentation when you're employing. What are people doing to stop this? This is a challenge for today. However, I want to equally let you know that we deploy ICT for us to interface with our stakeholders. Complaints can be made online, and we respond to such complaints within the shortest time. We have our standard operating procedure, which harmonizes the whole federation. If you are, I must let you know that we have our offices in all the states of the federation, including FCT. Then we have 5 offices in each state to be able to cover the space and to ensure that people complain without having to spend so much money to get to us or get their grievances resolved. So for that reason, we have now used the ICT to be able to get closer to people. We now see why it is easier that the whistleblowing mechanism should be located within the Public Complaints Commission. Apart from our experiences of having done the job for over 40 years, we still have the spread. Apart from police, no any organization has that spread. We have equally tried to see that for those who are recalcitrant or something we are let's be done. That's not true. Today we have enforcement units in the commission in order to strengthen our performance, and we're graciously assisted by the Ministry of Justice to be able to have a court that recalcitrant respondents will be taken to. And we've been able to deal with such issues, and we have recovered up to 15.1 billion naira from various, in favor of various complainants through this effort. Now, we only have the Ombudsman radio that is on the way. We are waiting for the approval of Mr. President so that we will be much more closer to the populace. All this, we have our 5-year strategic plan to cover 2022 to 2028. We do all the necessary things we have to be able to interface and deliver to our Nigerian populace. Now, we have a team of commissioners. We have 27 of them, with the chief commissioner as the chairman. From time to time, they take topics that are of crucial nature, that are serious to the society at the moment, like the cancellation of flights and other things. They tackle them at their own level and then grant recommendations, send their recommendation to government. These are some of the things we are doing to ensure that we serve you better and that the corruption is brought to the lowest level. Like Lombroso said that people are born with some signs that shows that they are criminal. If you believe in that, then we're not expecting that corruption will move 100%, but then we're doing our best to stem the tide and get the best for Nigeria. Thank you so much.
This is very interesting. The Public Complaints Commission has made whistleblowing protection available to citizens by virtue of their spread and wide network. They are located in all the states of the Federation. So there's no excuse now. When you see something, you must say something. And she has also enlightened us on other initiatives. And the most interesting is the radio, Ombudsman Radio that's about to come into place. Let's give PCC a round of applause. The next panelist is Mr. Charles Abata from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission. The budgetary process has generated a lot of interest in recent times, and is also one of the issues highlighted in our recommendation. What is the FRC doing to make the budgetary process more transparent and accessible to the public?
Good morning, distinguished colleagues on this side and the audience. My name is Charles. I bring you one greeting from the chairman of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, who could not be at this forum because he has to be at the National Assembly discussing and defending the budget. So that's the core mandate of our commission, and they sent me to come and to felicitate all of us on this occasion of the International Anti-Corruption Day. The theme for this is celebration on CACA 2019 War Against Corruption. The question asked in the budget is important, especially for young persons in the room and others who not have known, to understand the importance of the budget in the life of the country. All of us drove on the road, smooth road, if you like, from wherever you came from to get to the journey. Then also, for those roads to maintain, to be smooth, government has to spend money. Then also, get contractors to fix the roads, to fix lights, electricity, and so on, other infrastructure. Now, for that to be done, there is a mechanism by which government will use public funds to put on the projects, and that's the budgeting process. Now, it's important to understand that we have had improvements in our budgeting system since the enactment of the passing into law of the Fiscal Responsibility Act in 2007. What this law has come to do, amongst others, is to set out and to put a statutory duty or responsibility on the government to plan our budget in a certain way. You understand? The method by which government plans the budget, takes the budget to the National Assembly, gets it approved, and also implements the budget are all contained in this act, the Fiscal Responsibility Act itself. And so, starting from what we call the medium-term expenditure framework, that is the MTEF, which contains the projections, the product projections, the planning standards line on each item. Because we have revenue, because we cannot spend money except to make the money. Then also, where are our sources of revenue? How much are we projecting to make through those sources of revenue in 2024? Now, these are things that people will sit down, think about it, analyze it, look at our previous revenue targets, the ones we are able to achieve in the 3 years before now. How much people achieved last year? How much people achieved the year before? And so on. And how can we reasonably project our revenue for 2024? That's part of the issue that needed to be sorted out before the budget is made. Now, we have to talk about our expenditure. How much are we going to spend? What are we looking to achieve in the next year, in the next budget? And how do we get the money? Is our revenue going to be enough for our expenditure? If the answer is no, that means we must borrow. augment the difference. And that's where we come to defensive policy. We have rules, laws to guide how much can the parliament or the government borrow to supplement the issue of revenue in the budget. Not more than 2% of GDP. That's what we have there. And then, if you want to borrow, what are the conditions for borrowing? You must do capital project, you must do for human development. All these are issues, are principles that are demonstrated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. As we speak, the government has sent in a proposal, and they are sending the European framework earlier, but there are some amendments that they want to make on that European framework that we passed earlier, and also the project estimate and also the go through. It's very important to note that the law has also made ample provision for individuals, for citizens, for groups, NGOs, everybody to have a say in what constitutes the budget of the country. And so, at every process, both by the National Assembly, both by the Ministry of Finance, there must be different programs where citizens will have opportunity to make their views known. And we have had so many people have made complaints about certain expenditures or certain projections, certain amounts of certain things. So the thing should not be what the government should focus priorities on. And that is the beauty of it. This is a government, democracy is the government of the people. The law sector, the legal sector, several sectors have made provision for citizens to make input so that at the end of the day, the National Assembly is under obligation to take into account the feelings, the aspirations, the opinions of citizens in the country in arriving at the final incident which will pass at the end of the day and send to the president for assent as appropriation. So this is a process that everybody should be part of. If you are in school or you are involved in the educational sector, the government is saying they want to introduce a student loan and they want to ask the university, the government, what do you think about it? The government wants to fund universities and really to do now. There are so many issues that citizens can get involved in. And don't forget also, Section 51 of the Act also gives every citizen the power to approach the court and to ask the judge to issue what will be prerogative orders, against government if any aspect of this law is being violated by any official government. So these are also rules that permit the citizens to be a part of the enforcement of the institution of the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Thank you very much. How you as a citizen can engage in the budgetary process. We do this by going to court, if you feel like we are taking action by people in government. Lastly, from this side of the table, we will hear from somebody representing the Center for Fiscal Transparency. Yeah, an NGO that has been engaging the process through audits and research. They have done quite a number of things. I want to ask you now, what have we done in terms of looking at that in the new framework? Can you share with us?
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Victor. My name is Suleiman Dawood. I represent Mr. Umar Yakubu of Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch. And what I have been seconded at the last minute, and then we had to discuss issues around what ONGAC has provided in relation to having a legal framework in relation to asset recovery, and especially in relation to strengthening anti-corruption agencies. The organization, Fiscal Transparency, is involved in following up the various laws that are needed, and what are the gaps and where are we in relation to those laws that have been described as necessary in relation to asset recovery and strengthening anti-corruption agencies. So briefly, that's my discussion around that. And it's something that we've been doing over the years in relation to ensuring that some of these laws are in place. And I'm happy to hear from the representative of the Honorable Attorney General that most of the things that we've been conversing will also be introducing, including the NACs and the various bills which Adi has also reiterated. So some of those bills, those of limited time, to highlight them, the starting point is the major ones, the Witness Protection Plan and Management Bill. That is outstanding, and that is affecting the whole robberies of the prosecution and adjudication of anti-corruption cases. Again, that has been going on. 9th Assembly, we couldn't get that around, but hopefully on the 10th Assembly, with the cooperation of all, we hope that this bill, along with the whistleblowers, which Ajay also mentioned, public disclosure and the public interest disclosure, and we actually championed that to ensure that it's domiciled within the Public Complaint Commission. So we came up with a draft of public interest disclosure complaints and complaints and protection of the whistleblower. So that is also expected to be passed in the 10th Assembly. We're all working together in relation to that. There's a gap within the litigation process, as I said, prosecution. And we've always conversed that this slow process is affecting the whole process of adjudication. So we've always been conversing for these special crimes courts. It has not been an easy one. Even when we had to go through the constitutional review process, that was not taken. In the alternative, we suggested that there should be designation of courts or criminal divisions set up in each jurisdiction, and those are things that we feel will always fill the gaps within the adjudication process. We've also been conversing the to make sure that the Office of the Auditor General is independent. That, for some reason, for many political and other reasons, has not seen the light of the day. But then again, it's something that we keep pursuing and ensuring that at some point it comes to fruition. Very fortunate to have passed the money laundering and prohibition and the Act in 2022, and that for us was a big win, including the NFIU, which was also set up. But there's a little bit of gap, including the process of crime, which was also passed. But we found that in the process of crime, our position to meet up with the ONCAD requirement and pattern in terms of having a central asset recovery agency, management agency, was not taken. Process of crime was passed, but then they gave all the anti-corruption agencies, law enforcement agencies to continue to manage the asset that recovered. That is a major issue that we're hoping that we will continue to engage in that discussion to ensure, perhaps with the cooperation of all the stakeholders, complying with those ONCAD requirements of having a central asset recovery management agency is crucial. Having said they haven't had the benefits or hindsight of looking at what has happened to what we have, while it's being managed all across the board. So those are the major ones that is actually required. But I think finally is the that I will mention is the generally the need for political will to ensure that we cross this line. We also have this actually procurement council that we've also been conversing that the Excellency should inaugurate for all the civil society organizations and all the other stakeholders. That agitation will continue because we know the implication and the overall impact that we have on fighting corruption in the country. Overall, I think restructuring the anti-corruption architecture is something that will require a serious and radical move and overall of the institution. And that is where I will stop for now. Thank you very much.
Talked about you are also emphasizing advocacy for the passage of the whistleblower protection law. This means that there's collaboration going on between the government agencies and the citizens, obviously you will see results. In particular, I also talked about the issue of special crimes, designated crimes, and also more There's a lot of government agencies asking for this. Every complex solution and also election to issue of social health. With this collaborative effort and advocacy, I'm sure we also see some positive results. Now we come to the other side of the room. Because of the shortness of the time, we are going to take 4 questions, 2 from each side. In particular, I want to encourage our young people to raise their voices so that they can hear what their concerns are. Okay, Dr. Otibe.
Okay, my question is to the panelists. The agencies operate in accordance with the law, the creation of the law. I just want to ask, if government breaches the law, for instance, the Procurement Act passed in 2009, 2007, 16 years, the Procurement Council has not been incorporated. And FRA, the budgets for the past 5 years, the borrowing at more than 3%. Can they do anything? Are they willing to do anything? Can they partner with others to do anything when government breaches the law?
Very good, next question, please.
Please, can we have somebody come back?
Next question in front here, also from the Southwest African. I haven't seen the hand of the young people. I want to see.
Thank you very much. So my own observation concerning the.
Please, I need to.
Okay, my name is Michael Adishola from ICBC. My observation is in respect of the topic or the theme of this year compact activity as uniting the world against corruption. Now, and when there is an urge, when our urge was making his remarks, we roll out series of crude oil and other things that can be shipped out of this country illegally. Now, my word is that if you are the compact is uniting the world against corruption, those illegal mining and business that are being shipped out of this country, they are finding their way to another country. So those countries that are receiving those ones, are they not members of the global community? In which way is this compact now uniting the world against corruption? When those countries are receiving our assets illegally. Whereas, if we make any product in this country that does not meet the international standard, they will return it to us. But any of our assets that are being shipped out will find their way into the other countries without detection. So which way, that way, there should be some kind of program or by which those illegally.
Thank you very much. You have made your point. You are running a big time. I do not want the families to respond to that question. I think to respond to that. The author actually denies the world against corruption. Nigeria has been the beneficiary of that unity. Nigeria is one of the countries that has been offered the highest quality of these assets located in other countries. We keep on hearing about Abacha 1, Abacha 2, Abacha 3. There's actually a 150 million of us that are being to return. The documents need to be signed in account. So I hope that answers the question. Now, okay, yes, the baby there.
Good day, everyone. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oje Adela. I'm a student of Lima Real Estate International School. Well, I have an alarming question for the representative of the FRSC. The budget planning has been improved, as you earlier said. So why isn't it showing on the roads? So how does the FRSC plan to eradicate this problem and help in the provision of adequate road networks in Nigeria? How can the FRSC collaborate with the governor to make this possible?
Okay, that's Madam there. Yes, that will be our last question before the panelists respond.
Good afternoon, panelists. I wish to start with the same call. My name is Sarita Adam, the officer from NCWS. My question goes to the Public Campaign Commission because I know that the Public Commission is empowered by the law to address administrative injustice. And I heard her speak on the issue of people trying to cut down their age in employment. What is the Commission doing to address the issue of balancing the age bracket of those that are affected by the university strike? Thank you.
Now we go back to the panelists. The first question that Dr. Jive is agencies operating under what do you do when the same government you are serving is breaching the law setting up your agency? How do you respond? And what can you do? How do you normally respond and what can you do? I want all the panelists in one.
My response to that question is that law, the government it's not law that is service. But I think it's one of the agencies that implement that commission. We look at that law, although the law provides for the establishment of council, which is yet to be established. But I can tell you that that's the provision of any provision starts at 58 or 20 Act. So there's no sanction for not establishing that council. There's something the agency and such agency can do. There's an only what a friend has explained to advocacy, to urge the government to establish the council. And we know that what is doing with that benefits advantage to our council. No one without a right to law, I think that's the reason for this when the parliament puts it there. But for now, that's no sanction. That is why I was
yes, I want to start by observing that Dr. Tibe, we have a double cap. We are doing a very notable activist. And then there's also been the other side, in the Ninth Assembly. And we have visited him on his office. You see, there are levels of controls. The government that is talking about, the federal government, has agencies, especially the National Assembly. They are the ones that make the laws. Are they not the ones? That 3% that is said that was there. Was it not that 3% law? To be explained the thing, was not that 2% that passed the budget that is said 3%. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you say the government, it's not just the executive. Issues of budget has the interpretation to the executive and the legislature. And by constitution, the major oversight of issues of expenditure and spending of money is the legislature. No matter what things can do, if any assembly passes a budget that supersedes the 3% limit, who will arrest who will make that? So it's only the citizens that can speak up. That's why I keep saying citizens should take advantage of the provisions of the law that can make them to hold government to account for some of these issues. Let me also say again, to demonstrate how government has deliberately, what the National Assembly and the deputy, undermined the 3% rule, in 2020, they passed the Finance Act 2020. And what does it say in Sector 12? And what we did is in Sector 61, is to amend Sector 12 of the Act, the Fiscal Education Act, to open the door so that government can borrow more than 10%. The same National Assembly did that to expand the borrowing space. That's just a matter of what can agencies do to support. They are only the clear road for themselves.
Thank you very much. Sir, when the National Assembly passes law, they act based on their powers that they are the representatives of the people. We all know that. And on that premise, the reasons they give is they have weighed what is existing and the trouble they find themselves. My organization, Public Complaints Commission, will report to the National Assembly. We are the only agency that reports to the National Assembly as of today. And because they were elected, they feel they are the representatives of the people. And so what they see, they cannot see. And so they take decisions on our behalf. So with this strong feeling that they are representing us based on our votes, if the majority of them agree at a decision, there's very little anyone can do, except the NGOs continue to remind them that sometimes what they see is not what we want. That's the only thing I think we can encourage ourselves with. As for Madam Teresa, this issue, I'm giving you this as an example from Public Complaints Commission experiences when we employed some staff recently. Now, we are discussing corruption. If you change your age, that is corruption, because it means you want to take from where you should not take. By the time you are 60, you will still be in the system pretending to be less than 60. And your productivity level will almost have gone, so you are not giving space for others to be employed. Now, it will be back on us. So what we are doing is to ensure that we remind the organizations that are employing today to be vigilant. Yes, it's not their fault that they overstayed in institutions, but that, be that as it may, we need to ensure that they fall within the bracket of those who say the truth the way it is. There will be other opportunities that the government will provide for them to liberate them, to make up for the losses they have suffered. And going forward, Ministry of Education is the one we are working on now to ensure that such unnecessary strikes don't come up in the nearest future. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Thank you. I think the answer has been given by my colleagues appropriately. Other than adding that, number one, to my doctor, in demonstrating seriousness in fighting against corruption, I think internally, the best we can get is perhaps a demonstration by way of resignations of key members at the top level, which perhaps is far-fetched, but that is the, for us, I think, realistic thing that could be done. Otherwise, expecting agencies to sue is obviously not going to happen. The next is also being said that, and I think I can only suggest further that this idea that only Sarah is actually dealing with most cases, also maybe perhaps here and there. But I would suggest that perhaps there should be more coalition of NGOs taking up this issue and filing a class action on behalf of it in relation to this, other than these individual NGOs taking up that The other alternative also would be the citizen also getting in touch with the ombudsman and also making a complaint towards resolving that issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We agree that this panel has been lively. I know there's a lot to say, but you can see. Okay, there's a question on the young lady. Can you please respond?
Yes, indeed, all the rules are going to be fixed. But even yesterday, at Asokoro, the economic minister for FCT flagged off the surface of roads in the whole of Asokoro. So things are happening. Those are being built. Now, the duty that we have as citizens, if there's a road that is supposed to come in front of your area, that you have is supposed to be built by a contractor, and that road is being abandoned or is not being worked on, you can go the issue. You can call the authorities' attention. Because most of the time, many of us do not take the trouble of going online to check to see which projects have been given to which contractor. We only assume that what is being done because we don't see anything happening. It could be that that area where nothing is happening, somebody has been giving mobilization in billions or billions to do something, but because nobody is asking questions, nobody is calling the authorities to attention to that area, nothing is being done. But we rest assured that every year, including 2024 budget, there will be provisions for road construction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give the panelists a round of applause.
As they are stepping down now, let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful. Thank you, moderator. We thank you, panelists. We want to quickly, because of our time, and I'm happy that our
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the climax of the event, which is the schools debate. Please, let's give the youth, our children, the leaders of tomorrow, a round of applause for their presence here, for their commitment, and we are going to hear their own side of view. I will give a brief introduction on the schools debate. This journey started in November 8, 2023 at the EFCC Academy. 8 schools were invited. The 7 schools appeared for the knockout session. And the schools are Almanal Senior Science Secondary School, Kado Abuja, Bethel International School, Yaya. Please, a round of applause. Government Day Secondary School, Dute, Government Secondary School, Mabuchi, Redeemer Royal Seed International School, Waman Village, Olumawu College, Abuja, Police Day Secondary School, Area 11, Garki, and the Government Secondary School, Wuse, was absent from the competition. Please, a round of applause. You have to come and see these children, dishing out their views on what they know and understand about fighting corruption. Today, after the knockout session, 2 schools emerged the winner, and we are going to have them today, and I bet you are going to enjoy yourselves. You see the way these children argue, talk about fighting corruption. It's so amazing. The 2 schools contesting today will be Government Day Secondary School, Dute Alaji. A round of applause, please. And Bethel International School, FHA Yaya. Please, let's clap for them. Our topic for discussion today is
Who has a greater role in corruption prevention? The people or the government? Who has a greater role in corruption prevention? The people or the government? Government, the secondary school do say, we'll be speaking against, in other words, they'll be saying the government. While Bethel International School will be speaking for, in other words, they'll be saying the people. So I would like to introduce our judges. We have Mrs. Ivy Epeyon. We have Mr. Kingsley Ochasi. We also have Mrs. Sadia Gashibaki. And our timekeeper today is Mr. Damilola Ogumoroti. The speakers from the two schools are the first speaker from Bethel International High School, Iha Nacho Favor. Please, a round of applause. The second speaker is Ethel Maria, and the third speaker is Iha Nacho Fortune. A round of applause. These are the representatives of Bethel International High School. And those that will be speaking for Government Day Secondary School do say the first speaker is Babatunde Delight. Second speaker, Makonjola Morufat. And the third speaker is Punem Christabel Kuke. Please let me just quickly go through the score, the grading, how we are going to grade the children today. It's going to be over 100%. Our knowledge of subject matter and the logical flow is 30%. Our organizational flow and teamwork is 20%. Mechanical accuracy in terms of timing, grammar, and fluency is 30%. General appearance, that is neatness of uniform, hair, and others is 15%. Then punctuality is 5%. Thank you. Our topic once again, who has a greater role in corruption prevention, the people or the government? So the government, the people or the government? Thank you, please. Now, may I call on the first speaker, who from Bethel International High School, who will be speaking for. In other words, she is in support that the people has greater role in corruption prevention. May I call on Iha Nacho Favor, please? You have 4 minutes. Thank you.
Corruption is a cancer that eats away at the system's faith in democracy, diminishes the instinct for innovation and creativity. Corruption, they say, is often paid by the poor. Wherever there's power, greed, and money, there is corruption. Power tends to corrupt, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. Apologies, my prestigious members, for the omission of marketing. Good day, my prestigious chairman, statements and politicians advocates, senators and members, my co-speakers and my co-presenters. I am here at your table, and on behalf of my eminent center of learning, Bethel International High School, I'm here to support the motion which says, who has a greater role in corruption prevention, the people or the government? But before I proceed, I would like to appreciate on the key term of today's debate topic, corruption. According to Kant, defines corruption as an action that is based on the rules of conduct, including normative values, causing someone in position of authority or trust, whether private or public domain, because of private regarding motives. Prevention. According to the Oxford Advanced Dictionary, prevention is the action of stopping something from happening or arising. Now to the main topic of today's discussion, which is corruption prevention. Corruption prevention means the elimination of the causes of and conditions for corruption through the implementation of development of a system of appropriate measures, as well as deterrence against corruption-related criminal acts. I say my point. Firstly, it shall mean to clarify that the topic does not exempt the leaders to define against the most account corruption, but further to say that even when they have a role to play, we have more to manage so to speak as well. The government must create an enabling environment for the people to make a headway in this fight. More so, it is the duty of the leaders to appoint men of proven integrity to position, and also provide them resources to work with, as well as avoid interference. It is also the duty of the citizens to report corrupt persons who are living among their needs within their locality to anti-corruption agencies so as to apprehend the culprits and too. Just imagine this report is handed to our officer who has integrity. What will happen to the confidentiality and anonymity of whistleblowers? In addition, it is totally unprofessional and unacceptable for family, friends, and so-called well-wishers or public officials to coerce their sons and daughters who have not been appointed to serve the nation to engage in corruption. We expect them to cut their own share of the national gain. They see service to the nation and service to their pockets and service to their families. They visit their children with excommunication and ostracism. They use the slogan, "It's our family turn, our local." Just imagine them calling our national law family strokes. They patronize their sons and daughters in power to raise their children. Just to do family leaders. Is this somewhere job buying. Job buying has become a norm among the people. That even before graduation, a negotiation for the benefits of the through this, we offer jobs to unqualified candidates, thereby enabling our organizations to suffer loss and increase indifference. Whereas we have better and qualified candidates roaming around the street with their first set and second-class offer certificates. If and only if we realize the adverse effect of this abnormality, we will put our hands in heart and encourage job participants to know as the best candidates get the best job. Correspondingly, discouraging of examination of practice. Examination of practice is a form of corruption that has been poorly executed. The use of miracle centers to perpetrate this unholy acts has further deteriorated the system. Teachers partner with parents provide students with textbooks just for them to get good grades. This has sabotaged the efforts of the government. I strongly believe that for this students to be called and arrested, the people have a pivotal role to play by preparing adequately for examinations. The teachers must teach thoroughly. Parents must think against the idea of miracle centers. I want you all to know that this idea will always be sold to our parents, but they have the right and the responsibility to speak against these acts. In conclusion, God solidarity in Nigerian politics is crippling our political sector, as well as causing administrative inefficiency on the part of our individual governors. It is the humanitarian function of the citizens to wage a relentless crusade against solidarity, like we saw in Edo State, which brought in Governor Obaseki and his deputy tribe in their second tenure, despite the change in political party. I hope this is point of man, this is complete and not sufficient.
Round of applause for Ihan Nacho Favor. We move quickly to the first speaker from Government Day Secondary School, Babatunde Delight. A round of applause for her, please.
Kofi Annan said, and I quote, "While the people play a minor role in corruption prevention, it is the responsibility of the government to create an environment that discourages corruption by establishing anti-corrupt bodies and executing clear policies for corrupt practices." Good day, Mr. Chairman, the moderator, respected jury members, my co-speakers, and of course, esteemed audience. Today, I have actually designed an evidence of government secretary Mr. Haji, standing for the speakers of people who has a better in corruption prevention, the people or the government. Corruption, as defined by Transparency International, is the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. This can be not only financial gain, but also non-financial advantages. We all must acknowledge that it is government entrusted the power to create and enforce laws that should have responsibilities for corruption prevention. Government possesses authorities and resources to adopt comprehensive anti-corruption measures. A leader cannot defend the nation if it is not held accountable to his laws, and that's why government and the best solution to defend a nation. By creating defense legislatures, implementing robust oversight system, and executing their preference for corrupt practices, they can create a deterrent against corruption. Hence, the government not only has the ability, but also the responsibility to take a leading role in the fight against corruption. History has shown that grassroots led by the government has a compelling performance to challenge corruption. On the 29th of September 2000, President Olusegun Obasanjo inaugurated anti-graft body design, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Governance Commission (ICPC) and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to spearhead the debate against corruption, thereby enabling the Commission to prevent, investigate, prosecute, and penalize economic and financial crimes. In order to sanitize the system, the agencies are also charged with the responsibility of executing of other laws and regulations related to economic and financial crimes. Those laws and related section 7 of the Statute Act 2004. However, this new attempt in Nigeria turned out to be a great accomplishment in the fight against corruption. This opposed assertion opined by the straw, and I quote, "Corruption cannot be fully eliminated without strong government intervention, as it requires comprehensive policy framework, efficient enforcement mechanisms, and significant investment. Governments are elected in the cases chosen by the people who want the best interest nation. And as such, we have the unique vantage point to identify and address the vantage areas that give rise to corruption. What should we say is, well, we have the strong working institutions established by the government. Impunity becomes the very foundation upon the system of corruption abuse. Rigobert Amendment to Global Corruption 2001. We recall that attempt to fight against corruption could be traced to Vigilant Prevention in 1977 during Olusegun Obasanjo's military administration. Thereafter, we had the show to avoid ethnic revolution between 1981 to 1983. The war against indiscipline was prosecuted by Muhammadu Buhari in 1984, while you had the National Education Agency, which enacted the war against indiscipline and corruption, which was championed by Ibrahim Babangida's military administration. We are now faced again with the establishment of ICPC and EFCC Act 2004. This is the first time that several efforts to fight against corruption is making use of force of law with severe sanctions and entirely placed public servants and politicians. The aim is to return Nigeria to the enduring terms of responsibility within the nation and the whole world at large. Furthermore, while I acknowledge that people cannot take the leading corruption prevention, it is completely impractical to so rely on them. Historical cases have shown that during protests, marches, demonstrations, and rallies, which have played a minimal role as a minimum for anti-corruption campaigns, corruption still prevails. Benjamin Ross said, and I quote, that it was one of the original form of government training, and that is like sending a system of corruption and through every part of the state by means of competencies and much of education. And this can be done effectively only by the government. Finally, and I leave you this quote: the fight against corruption requires a strong will, determined leadership, and the government to uphold the values of integrity and transparency. Muhammadu Buhari, thank you.
Please, a round of applause for Babatunde Delight. May I call on the second speaker, Elon Maria. She'll be speaking for 3 minutes.
The fight for corruption-free ethical culture will have to be fought against history, and replace is not an history. The corruption of the best is given right to the world. When good people will end, since their vigilance and struggle, the evil man prevails. There is no doubt that corruption is a democratic challenge in Nigeria. As of 2014, Nigeria was counted as the 32nd most corrupt country in the world. Following for the future of my community, Mr. Chairman, innovative panel of delegates, indefatigable moderators, my accurate timekeeper, and my cultural listeners, all possible of the of them. I am Elon Maria, a student from Leyte International High School, and I am here to support the motion, which says, who has the greater role in corruption prevention, the people or the government? I said my point, accountability. It is one of the major roles of the people to hold their government officials or leaders accountable for services rendered or discharged. This will determine the election for another term, depending on the transparency exhibited on the first tenure. Imagine the House of Representatives, who is a considered allowance for the project in sum of 450 million naira, while a senator is given the sum of 1.7 million naira. Instead of distributing their duty, they will not decide to show 1% of money or 2% of spaghetti for the people in their constituency. So, to make sure that the creators will never be ready for this attack. More so, let us avoid celebrating and idolizing that. It is quite unfortunate as we have present and economy for those who settle and collect people, simply because of my religion, or tribe. The politician says the political strategy of divide and rule in this overthrow of the people. How will they do this for us? How will they be there for us? How will they help pandemic coming out? People of meeting our future. Sir, ma, how much of this planning and caring for our enemies to decide the sake of our friends? Furthermore, vote buying has become a norm and a concept that has sitting in the electoral system in Nigeria. This we know in sometimes. If not checked, people are the democratic system of government. When you say your vote, you are showing yourself into slavery for the next 48 days.
A round of applause for her. Let's move to the second speaker from Government Day Secondary School. She is Makonjola Morufat.
Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, "It is the task of the government to ensure that law is maintained and corruption eradicated." Upper school junior now, my name is Makonjola Morufat, a proud and prestigious student from Government Day Secondary School, Mr. Hadi. Standing before you today to speak on the topic, who has a greater role to play in corruption prevention, the people or the government? My support is strong to be on the government. One of the greatest things that happened to Nigeria since independence 63 years ago is the establishment of the anti-graft agency, as I mentioned about also political. The situation in Nigeria today has become so embarrassing that corruption has taken a center place, while integrity, social justice, and unity of the law have been thrown overboard. Sadly, today we find people from both the private and public sectors who are only interested in making quick and easy money by diverting public funds to their pockets. I know my own that I did also public office holders who have been exacted and are still facing corruption charges, like the case of Alhaji Abakari, a former Nigerian Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abdulrashid Bawa, a former EFCC chairman, Mohammed Ben Abdul, the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Daniel Tete, former Petroleum Minister, and finally we have Roberto Kasuga, the manager of Eni Oil. These three were charged over the sale of offshore oil fields, OPL 245 and Malawi oil and gas. Even the current party being governor, but if I some ex-ministers and heads of agencies to mention what to do and still standing trial. This is not an easy or possible to detect such top government officials who are ready to themselves as sacred cows, or what I would say, untouchable. If not for the critical role of the government in preventing corruption, which I will not know the government of these people in misappropriation and abuse of office. From their first session, you all agree with my dear audience that it is only the government that has such legislative power and in a better position to enact laws and set up framework for addressing corruption by establishing a oversight mechanism, economic policies and agencies to monitor and prevent corrupt practices within its own department and beyond. Like I was known said in my quotes, they can be non-faith government if our higher authorities are accused of criticism. They should set an example for transparency to people in general. My dear audience, can't you that it's only the government that has protected content and other private sectors? Also, we have seen the government collaborate with other countries and international organizations like Interpol to address cross-border corruption, which I know the masses will not be able to handle. Like the cases of Ramad Oloruwa Abbas, popularly known as Hush Puppy, a former Nigerian Instagram influencer. Moving forward as a capital, the government can play a crucial role in preventing corruption through its own anti-graft by creating public awareness and enlightenment campaigns to inform the people about the negative effects of corruption as they're all doing them today. Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with this quote by John Mahama. It takes leadership in government and commitment to win the fight against corruption. Thanks.
Let's move to the third speaker now from Bethel International High School. She will be speaking for 2 minutes. Ihe Nacho Fortune.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Lena Fortune, a student of Bethel International High School. I'm here to support the motion which says, who has a greater role in corruption prevention, the people or the government? There is no silver bullet for fighting corruption. Ken Poirier said, where there is power, greed, and money, there is corruption. Corruption of the best things gives rise to the world. And as citizens, we must first understand the implications, see each other as fellow humans and Nigerians. To begin with, individuals' mindsets, emotions, beliefs, level of exposure also matters in the increasing rate of corruption. This is because when an individual is given a position, the individual can decide to generate self-interest or see it as otherwise. The individual can decide to see it as a means of the development and the elevation of Nigeria, and also to make the nation proud locally and internationally. Instances of individuals that made our nation proud locally and internationally include Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, former Minister of Finance, and late Dora Akunyili, Director General of NAFDAC. Furthermore, at this juncture, my co-debaters, esteemed audience, are respected. I would like you also take a deep breath and have a thought on the issue of discipline and righteousness. I believe that once you are back from this journey of thought, you would agree with me on the various acts of indiscipline and righteousness. Also took a deep breath, and here are some of the pictures as you gone through. Bribing a judge in order to pass judgment in one favor, buying examination questions before the scheduled examination time, chanting a long queue, unnecessary hiding of prices by ordinary salesmen and women, bribing a policeman. All these acts of indiscipline and unrighteousness have changed our thoughts and thinking into corruption as a normality rather than as an abnormality. And also, the former EFCC chairman, who said, and I quote, he said if people were better educated, their ability to filter right from wrongdoing would attain an appreciable level. It is pitiable that people are deficient in education, thereby are able to understand government policies and programs, support a noble cause, and contribute to the nation's building. How can a citizen who is not properly enlightened and educated know that he or she is able to fight and protest accordingly? How will such a citizen know that he or she has the right to demand for good roads, potable water, uninterrupted power supply, to mention but a few, when he or she has paid for his or her taxes and performed for obligations? But in addition, my opponent says the government shoulder more responsibility, particularly because they strengthen our wisdom and well-informed of the law. Apart from this Honduras, as we must want as both by any form of establishment of the professionals and a saving up for the next 4 to 8 years. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to convince that citizens have a better.
Please, a round of applause for her. I'm calling on Unem Christabel Kuke. She will be speaking for 2 minutes.
Corruption, a viral disease that sucks and drains the wealth of the nation. It is an infection that keeps the community and state perpetual stress. It is a shame. Where corruption thrives, poverty reigns. All protocols to your love. My name is Unem Christabel. Get sick on the who has greater role to play in corruption prevention. The masses or the government. It is my greatest belief that the government has a greater responsibility in corruption prevention. Before I move on, it's very crucial to recognize the unique capabilities and abilities of the government via its fostering an environment of transparency and accountability. The government has the ability and authority to enact and enforce laws that explicitly target corruption. They create specialized anti-corruption agencies like EFCC and ICC, allocate resources for investigation, and ensure that legal frameworks are in place to prosecute offenders. The government's ability to implement this policy provides a systematic approach in combating corruption, which is more comprehensive and impactful. The government has greater responsibility because it can collaborate with other international organizations, civil societies, and private sector to address the transnational dimension of corruption, such as illicit financial flow, money laundering, tax evasion, access to government. The government has responsibility for the implementation of reforms and innovation which can help to reduce opportunities for corruption, such as simplifying regulation, strengthening state-owned enterprises, improving customs administration, and delivering quality public service. The government has the power to prosecute and sanction corruption acts both within and outside the public sector, like cases of Eze Nnamdi, a drug trafficker who was sentenced to life imprisonment by the NDA, Miriam Dakota, a former member of Council House of Assembly, who was arrested and prosecuted for the sales of fake drugs by the NDA, Annie Adiola, the former director of Standard Organization of Nigeria, who was found guilty for forgery and perjury by the organization. Finally, while masses contribute to reporting corruption and fostering public awareness, they rely solely on grassroots efforts of the government for widespread impact. The government, via legislative and judiciary and executive power, has the potential to implement large-scale measures which can help to destroy the structures and diminish corruption operates. Thank you.
A round of applause for her. They are all we have at your favor. Come and round up in 1 minute. Thank you.
Here I am back on my physical responsibility. My company says that the government reform the handle by setting up corruption agencies to fight corruption. Let's believe that's true. But then, sir, have the people not made the job easier through the evaluation of whistleblowers? Sir, ma, have the whistleblowers not made the job easier? And the information supply not useful? Has it not led to the apprehension of corrupt public officials? You notice that about 4 billion was recently discovered from a corrupt public officer, which was made possible with the help of whistleblowers. My also made emphasis that the people are not capable of fighting corruption because they organize violence and rallies and protests. But who organize also to destroy the peaceful protests and rallies? This is the government. They come to some and separate people who come in one unity to come and fight corruption. I hope with this point of time, people to complete and not complete, and people are in the
May I call on Babatunde Delight to come and round up in 1 minute. Please, a round of applause for her.
Now let's bring this argument down to two levels. In our various roles, who fights against corruption and indiscipline, bullying and exam malpractice? This is who authorities or the students. Well, my dear opponent, with all due respect, I sincerely cannot continue this blind argument with you. Rather, I leave you with this quote by a renowned political philosopher, Niccolo Machiavelli. Corruption without power is like a ship without a rudder. This implies that while the government actively working to eradicate corruption, the entire system becomes at risk, fueled by self-interest and manipulation. Thank you.
Secondary school, thank you. I want to say a very big thank you. We've heard your views. We'll be expecting the results from the judges immediately after the second panel, so you can move back to your seat. Thank you. Please, let's go down.
You can go for your photograph there. You know, if you come very close to me, you see tears in my eyes. It gives me confidence that we have hope in this country. Let's put our hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the beauty of it is that they were not just talking, there was some swagger attached to it. You know, they would do their hands like this, you know. Amazing. Boys, I don't know what you guys are doing, you know. Boys, girls are taking over. Because if you are not careful, our president in 2050 will be here. Photographers, please, we don't have all day. We are moving to the next panel. Please, very quickly. That's not the last item. We have another panel here. Are you guys okay? You didn't do like this in the first panel. Oh, this is partiality. All right, photographer, we are done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so we move on to the second panel. Let me welcome here. Do we have Mr. Benedict Agbaye? Okay, Mr. Abdul Karim Choko, Director of Operations, EFCC, representing the chairman. Okay, EFCC is here. All right, please step up. Thank you. Let's appreciate him, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't get the handsome man's name. Benedict Agbaye, okay. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Code of Conduct Bureau, Mr. Ibrahim Mahmoud. Nigerian Police Force, Mr. Maxwell Olatokunbo. Is he here, Mr. Maxwell Olatokunbo? Okay, please, you're welcome. Corporate Affairs Commission, Tava Ayua Tor, Special Assistant to Registrar General. Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, Mr. Felix Mbamalo. And then Budget it, representative, if he's here. And then finally, our moderator, Dr. Tive Ibozo. We have 30 minutes for this. Okay, Amma from. Okay, Engineer Mokolo from PDP. Engineer Mokolo. This panel is a very large panel. Are you sure 30 minutes will do? Okay, Dr. Uzo has added 10 minutes.
We're doing 40 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to the second panel. You know, the keynote address has set the tone for this conference. The first panel, we saw the work of the various anti-corruption agencies, and then the children have rekindled our hope in Nigeria that the future is bright. This panel is made up of anti-corruption bodies, and we are looking at the topic deploying emerging technology in the fight against corruption, successes, challenges, and the way forward. We know that all over the world, to fight corruption, you need to do it by 4 main approaches. First is the internal mechanism within the executive agency. Second is legislative oversight. Third is media, citizens group, and citizens. And fourth is anti-corruption bodies. We know that technology can be very useful in the fight against corruption. So this panel is actually experience sharing by the anti-corruption bodies in the fight against corruption. So since it's very many, we are just going to give two minutes. Two minutes. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 3 minutes. That will be 21 minutes. So please, let's keep to time. Just go straight to the technology you have deployed, the challenges, the successes, and the way forward. Let me start with the role of public procurement. Shino. 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Good day, distinguished participants of this program. Okay, from the role of procurement, we have just a number of technologies that have been in operation for some time. Let's start with the first one, national database of contractors and service providers, and this been in operation for a while. And more importantly, what we are doing, new on this is a collaboration with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So this particular application, where we have contractors bidding for government contracts, has been very difficult for portfolio companies, to be involved, in executing government contracts. But moving forward, leveraging on the emerging technology is the integration we are having with the Corporate Affairs Commission, especially with the beneficial ownership register. You understand? So these two applications will be speaking to each other and makes it contracts. As we speak today, that also is one of the things that which we feel is speaking to the theme of this commemoration. That's uniting the world. That speaks to the fact that the government will provide information to the public, but it's also the responsibility of the citizens, the media, the civil society organizations, and the private sector to engage this information and also actually, activate, the accountability bits of fighting corruption. So the whole is there is being upgraded, is being improved upon to make things easier for And finally, the Bureau is in the process of deployment of an electronic government procurement system, e-procurement system. So that's currently at the development stage, and this will help a lot to, deploy all the mechanisms for corruption prevention by reducing discretion, by ensuring there is improved transparency and improving the integrity of procurement processes in the country. So this is our development stage, and I know it's just with a matter of time, the Nigerian system will be benefiting from the immense benefits that comes with e-procurement. And also this e-procurement is also meant to integrate with the beneficial ownership register of the CAC, which also is another tool for greater accountability and greater engagement, by the non-state actors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give you a round of applause for speaking with the 3 minutes. We'll go to EFCC. Benedict Agwe.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon, distinguished members of the audience. The Public and Financial Crimes Commission is a very forward-looking decision, and we aligned our integration of emerging technology usage with the Financial Crimes strategic plan for 2021 to 2025. And just to quickly mention some of the objectives in that strategic plan, which include to increase citizen engagement in the fight against corruption. And out of some of the emerging technology aligned with that is an app which is called the Eagle Eye app, and that gives the public the opportunity to report platform that allows people, whether you are within Nigeria or outside of Nigeria, to report acts of corruption. Of course, we are all aware that corruption is one offense that is transjurisdictional. So whether somebody is laundering money by moving money overseas, and then there's someone overseas who sees that act happening, they can report using that particular platform. The second objective that we also have is to improve our systems and processes. And in aligning our technological requirements to that particular objective, the EFCC has utilized the entire process from the point of petition submission. Petitions are scanned and it goes into a case management system that allows the tracking of the petitions through the system. And then in addition to that, we also leverage technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain in the area of big data analytics. You are aware, that in the course of investigation act of corruption, we come across vast amount of data sets. And to make sense out of these data sets, we leverage artificial intelligence by analyzing that data, which most times is not compatible, because you can have data from financial institutions, you can have data from digital devices that is extracted, and then with the use of artificial intelligence, we are able to make sense out of this data. And then, of course, we also have several other technologies, which include, of course, with our interest to collaborate with other agencies. We have systems that are integrated with that of agencies like NITI to help us identify suspects. And of course, again, we also have engagement with the public. We have the FIFA meet every Wednesday at 6 o'clock that engages with Nigerians on anything regarding the work of the EFCC. Thank you very much.
Can we give another applause? Thank you very much. I think several tools, including AI and blockchain. Now let's go to the next agency, Code of Conduct Bureau. Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, each and every one of us here. We, in the Code of Conduct Bureau, were very much mindful of the need to digitalize our operations. Consequence upon that,
The bill presently relies on two major applications. One for its internal operations, which we call the ERP. The ERP means Entrepreneurial Resource Planning. This is for our own internal purposes. Then we have the external, which was deployed purposely for online asset declaration, which I think was mentioned by the acting chairman before. So, because of the difficulty we are having, or challenges we are having with paper-based asset declaration, we consider it very much necessary to have the online asset declaration, which it took up. And we advanced in the day to commence use of it. In fact, myself being the person heading the department of the charge of asset declaration for career public officers, I was the second person to register with the quarter. Well, the head of our ICT was the first person. As I'm talking today, we have over 15,000 public servants that have registered with the portal, and we have over 10,000 civil servants that have already submitted their declaration online. I think even our sister agency, the EFCC, when they came to do that declaration, I said, no, you are our partners, you are our sister agencies, we will not allow you to go paper-based, go online, and they have to go. My colleague is here to testify. They declared their asset online. That is the position. So the main challenges we found to discover is that most Nigerians for public servants are not computer based. They are not computer literate. Therefore, we are finding complaints, simple tools for somebody who you cannot do. So believe me, sometimes I don't even control here because of course calling. I could not register. We could not register. If you don't say no, what did you do? This is how we do it. So this is the basic problem. Inadequate, or I could say literacy level in terms of ICT usage in the country is very low. So the way forward is to have computer literacy. The other program is related to the Nigerian Capital Program. Lack of electricity, low computer, low internet services, and so forth. So when those things are addressed, I think we will be making headway. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for your program bureau using ERP for internal processes and online asset declaration. Now we go to the Nigerian Police Force. Mr. Maxwell,
Thank you, sir. The Nigerian Police is the leading agency in internal security, and constitutionally, we are empowered to investigate cases, to meet involved, and to even prevent crimes. And in view of this understanding, we find it very necessary to deploy technology in fighting crime and criminalities. I want to say emphatically here that to get it in done, the police authority did establish the Center Crime Center, which I'm glad this morning to say it clear and clear that every citizen of Nigeria needs to know about this. The area of which in the internet fraud, kidnappers, their boys, do anything and go free is gone. I want to have this understanding that don't hesitate to report any issue to the center because they are fully equipped, having the best state of art equipment to detect either before or after the crime. So I want us to know that you are very fortunate to have this opportunity to be here this morning to have this information. We can tell you confidently that We have done a lot of, we have achieved a lot of successes. We have seen a situation where people we call online dating, where people will be invited to the country, and at the end of the day, they bring them to pay for their money. So, however, we have achieved a lot of success concerning these merits. I even want to state one as here that the policy department is not there behind. They are really wonderful things that no matter how clever you are, in falsifying any document, in falsifying any either voice threat or voice speech, everything can be detected and if any evil, every crime involved. I even want to say here that success was even recorded where a woman was working from outside the country and even kidnapped. All these are you can find it in the newspapers. We all report taken to court, and at the end of the day, we will not panic again. Some of the challenges we are having is based on internet issues. We will have some challenges that are to internet network. And again, some of the issues that are challenging us is the fact that the majority of Nigerians don't come up with issues concerning internet fraud, cyber hacking, all those things. I want to encourage us this morning that you need to come forward. But don't be ashamed. Come forward. You will have to educate because it is going to be handled successfully. One of the way forward is just what I just said. And I want to say this about this morning. We are even having a mini seminar concerning this corruption issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nigerian Police Force, the African Center, and using technology in forensic investigation. We'll now move quickly to Corporate Affairs Commission. Deborah Ayako. Should we take this 10 seconds?
Hello, good afternoon, all. Corporate Affairs Commission has deployed a beneficial ownership register, which was launched in May this year. The register is a digital tool that holds information on natural persons who are beneficial owners of corporate entities. Beneficial ownership refers to the natural persons who, in one way or the other, control the activities of corporate entities that are registered. The register is a public register that is accessible. Information on the register is free. Authorized agencies, authorized persons, and law enforcement agencies have the privilege of an API integration to access information on the beneficial ownership register and download for the purpose of assisting in the investigation. The register, as we speak, is running and can be accessed on www.cac.gov.ng. We are calling on all stakeholders to take advantage of this register. Like I said, the information on this register is free. You can access it yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking to the beneficial register. That is the main tool that CAC is using. Can we give them a round of applause? We will now move quickly to Mr. Felix Mbamalu of the Nigerian Financial Federation.
Good afternoon. In the MFI, you have the mandate to receive, analyze, and disseminate financial information to law enforcement agencies, anti-corruption agencies, and other stakeholders. We realized early on that
with the head of criminals, we need to deploy technology. So we have embraced emerging technology. Before now, we used to disseminate the analysis we did on a manual basis. But since January 2021, when we launched the crime register information management system, CRIPS, we have got about 45 LEAs, ACAs, and other stakeholders to key in to request for information from the NFIU, usually financial information. And then after our analysis, we sent the feedback to them through that CRIPS. In the NFIU, what this has achieved is that we have improved the quality and quantity of the intelligence reports that we generate and deploy. We have also, in the last 2 days or around, about 2,800 intelligence reports have been deployed, and the agencies have testified to the accuracy and comprehensiveness that the government has adopted. In the NFIU also, as an internal process internally, we are almost a paperless organization. We don't use papers, we don't do anything in the NFIU. We simply go on the system, get it to the supervisor, and then it comes back to the management as the case. So these are some of them. We also have connectivity with nearly all the information giving agencies. We are connected with CAC, we are connected with the customs portal, the immigration portal, the identity management, the licensing register, the federal licensing register. So it enriches all the information that we get, and we analyze, and then we put back to the law enforcement agencies to improve their investigation and help them in getting more efficient and communicating Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. And connecting with other programs. And then finally, budget. The civil society representative of the planet. Over to you.
So we had from my platform on the side of government agencies. So we talk about the civil society. So Body Foundation launched a platform called GovSend. The website for that is GovSend.ng, which displays information on payments to different individuals, companies, agencies, and departments of our ministries. And on this platform, we have the amount paid. GovSend. So we have an amount paid, description of copies of such payments, and payment numbers, payment codes. And this platform, based on this platform, is called from the government website, Open Treasury. So this platform, we can track all amount. We can track all amount is going search for payments using the project title, the agency, or the beneficiary. So the challenge we face on this platform is that whenever the Open Treasury website is down, or new information is not uploaded on the Open Treasury platform, we don't have anything to work with. So basically, we rely on the government to keeping this Open Treasury platform up and running, so that our own platform can operate successfully. So another transparency portal by budget is OpenState.ng. And on this Open State website, it contains projects of national governments in Nigeria. So we have documents like people's budgets, approved budgets, citizens' budgets, audited reports, and website. So for this, if state governments don't have their physical documents online on their websites or websites that are related to the state government, we cannot have information to upload on the Open State. energy platform. The budget has an initiative that was established this year. It's called State Fiscal Transparency, where we score states of their level of fiscal transparency. So we have different indicators that we use to rate them, so that they produce their budget, intent, audit reports, and general reports and what have you. So when states make this document readily available, we have it to work with, and then it will also be published on the Open States portal. So then, then also we got a body that's called which the personalized portal give citizens budget data on their states and local government. So like the way the president gets a budget is personalized. So when you register on the platform, you put in your state, your local government, and what you have interest in, and then you give you all the information that you're looking for. And the citizens these citizens data on their state and local government allows them to reach out to their representative directly. So if you see a project that you're interested in, there is an option for you to liaise with your representative. And we have on that portal, we have their phone numbers and email addresses where you can reach out to them directly. And we also encourage citizens to be persistent about the project they're interested in. So like a speaker in the previous panel sessions talked about roads. So they are also encouraged to be involved in utility road project like not completed in the area, for instance, you can go there and track it and then you your representative.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But we have several tools, offspring, open states, and citizen project. Can we give her a round of applause? We really want to thank you for your patience. In the next few minutes, we are going to round up. So we'll just take a maximum of two questions and then we respond. But you can make one you do better so that we can upload for parents. So any question from my yes, number one here. Any question from this side? Yes. 2, 3, that's all. So number one, please 2, 3, can you move forward? Number one question.
My question is to police. I think that there's an app in the organization that you take the story from. We used to trace any for this, the starting of police back to the social universities. Is there any app like that or
Thank you. App for story from you have it. Thank you. Number 2, quickly.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan from PSS. My question is the Commissioner of Police. I understand that your department is in charge of tracking lost goods and stolen goods. This was one mistake in addition to what you have said. I understand that. And I also understand that certain fees are being paid for the tracking of these goods. Why is it so? Thank you.
Okay. Third question and the last question, third and the last question. All the questions to the Nigerian police force.
My name is Teresa. We are officer in my question is to the police. We talked about crime center, but you don't expatiate on whether there is a website on how to get to any
Crime center.
Yes.
How do you get to the crime center? So I think this shows the importance of the police. The police is very, very important. I had the opportunity of working with the police for 5 years, and I think they need all the support they can get to secure us. So you have 3 minutes to answer the 3 questions. Oh, okay. Thank you, student.
Standing on existing protocol, my name is Akara Victoria, and I'm from government secondary school management. I want to ask the professor a question. In the statement, he was talking about technology. So when he was talking about it, I was reading about crime detection. So how do we detect crime in this nation? For example, looking at abroad people, how do they detect crime? There is a technology that they know fingerprints of each person, they know identity of each person. So I'm not thinking that what we have NIN, we do NIN. Can't we enforce it everybody to have NIN? So if you have NIN, in the process of NIN, we have fingerprints. So when you have a problem, when we're trying to detect the person that committed a crime, we look for a way, the person that have that fingerprint. Of course, with NIN, we have address, we have a lot of information with NIN. You should enforce the NIN.
Amazing. Can we clap for the young lady? You know, I don't know if you will answer, but what she has just said settles the problem of crime in Nigeria. You know, in this country, there is no identity. You know, somebody will call you on phone that is going to kill you. Are you with me? Yes. You have the phone number, or somebody will send you, you know it's a scammer. You will bring the details, you will send you an account number, and to play the person, we will see the dancing here and dancing here. So it is important. You may not be able to answer all the questions, but those questions that our young girls raise are very important for our country. We need to deal with issues of identity. We need to even traffic offense. In other countries, you just run past, the following week, you will get your bill. If you don't pay in 1 week, it will increase. The police can make a lot of money for the country from traffic offenses. Now, your operations are very nice, so we'll give you 6 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, it was due to where you issue the receipt, the back, or the phones. So that in case of any situation where your phone got missing, these are the vital documents or things you need to bring forward. Your receipt bearing the fact that you are the owner. And you can go to the nearest police station where you report this matter. And I want to tell you, if you can successfully produce these requirements, I want to let you know that it's just a matter of time. Those things could be when there's a move, when there's a suspect tax, you need to help
for speedy recovery because of the fact that you are the owner. Excuse me. There's no official fee. Official fee is levy. No official fee, no payment. But for the fact that you want your child to recover faster, you want to do one or two things. It's for all good. It's for all good to recover your child. It's not that the officer in charge of the investigation will be the one to thank you for it. Let you know this is the position. We will have some things that will prevent you from letting it go. He needs to let you know. So, there was a question asked by somebody here that said, do we have center for the website for the cybercrime department? Very good. I just want to let you know this morning that inside the police force headquarters, that's where the center is. You are free to go in. Inside the force headquarters. We can go on with our legs for water. However, the organizers, I am going to send to them. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, the police is very important. We are looking forward to a time because crime, if anybody commits crime, it is state based on the person. And government should be able to provide all the resources required for catching that criminal, prosecuting that criminal, sending the criminal to jail, and feeding the criminal trial. It's the responsibility of government. So we are looking forward, and I can assure you that the police can work. I have personal experience. When my phone was stolen, I reported to the police. They just use their listing. The person has put his own SIM inside. The picture of the person showed, and we got his video. Hello. Hello. Secondly, when I was in Lagos, my car was stolen at gunpoint. I went to report to the police station. 1 week later, he called me to beg me. I'm telling you my own experience. Is that every citizen will have access to such services. Thank you very much. I can hear what you say.
In response to the question from the group, who was concerned about the fact that law enforcement agencies are not able to track suspected criminals. I want to say that Section 15 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act mandates every arresting law enforcement agency to maintain criminal record of arrested persons in a specified format as stated in that provision of the law. Now,
Nigeria is a data society, and I'll explain why. Because if you go everywhere you go, you have course to run the test. In the test, one of these medical tests, and the present information, my age, everything, where I'm from, and all of that. So you find out that at every point they are collecting data. But the point is that right now we break the cycles, and as a result of that, we lose the value of that data. And so at the EFCC, what we've done is that we have a system that is called the Automated Tribute Identification System. Right? So every suspect or customer or employee that passes through the EFCC is processed, and that data is retained. Now, what we've also done, we've got a step further to sign an MOU with NIST, right? Because NIST, as you mentioned, has quite a robust database. And so when we need to find a suspect, or we go to a scene of crime and we're looking for a suspect, right? Imagine a scene of crime. Let's pick up a fingerprint from that scene of crime. What we do is that we run it against our own database, or we run it against the database of NIST, or any other database. Because you have the passport database, the Nigerian Immigration Service, you have the DBN. So it's an issue of us finding a way for this data to come to each other rather than working in silence. And lastly, in concluding, I want to just let the voice to the argument that I see the government. That argument is that, look, when you lose your phone, what happens? Now, I want to say, crime fighting all over the world has moved from the level of maybe just government agencies alone to what they call the whole of society approach. Even the citizens have some form of role to play in crime fighting. And what role do you have, especially when it comes to this issue of your phone getting lost? When you buy a phone, right, maintain the app of that phone. Maintain for instance your SIM card, maintain them. So that there's something on that phone that is called the IMEI number. Right? Anytime, well, you can go a step further by registering with, depending on what phone you're using, whether Android or iOS, go to their website, register, right? Your details there. Anytime that phone is lost, you can track and find where that phone is. It will make it easier for the police to locate, just give them that information and they go there, pick up wherever it's your phone. So it's very important that we do not, relinquish even our responsibility to the police. We are all clear.
Thank you very much. We have applause for all our panelists. I think the conclusion is that whether in crime fighting, whether in fighting corruption, we need the whole of society approach. All of us need to be involved. We need to fight for a better country. I want to thank all of you for your patience. God bless you and have a wonderful weekend. Thank
you. Traditionally, it is the police that arrest people. But at this event, the audience arrested the policeman. Honorable Commissioner, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. And let's put our hands together for this panel. We'll step down. I can't wait for what is next. The result is coming out. We can now wait and see the result of the swagger and the grammar that these young people have spoken earlier. Boss Gutberu, are you ready? Okay, I understand the panel is here to take photograph.
like to appreciate them. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the teachers for preparing these children very, very well. We appreciate you. And as they say, your reward is not in heaven, but from back here. So from the IATT, we are saying thank you to all the teachers. Let's quickly move to the middle of class. In no other, may we call on Olumawu College. Please, Dr. Ibiza Oti, they should help us in presenting the class to children. When we call on Police Day Secondary School area, 11 Dorothy Abuja. Then International School is start coming. International School, 1 month late. Better International High School, Abuja. Better International High School. Almana Senior Science Secondary School. Government Day Secondary School, UK. And finally, the school that will be going to the trophy today is, we have 2 schools. One school scored 78.75%, 90.55%. And the second is, with the highest mark is Government
While this school is celebrating, can we put our hands together for the school that came second, for the school that fought hard? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, as you are stepping out, they'll be serving you refreshment. We want to see you next year. God bless you. God bless you. Goodbye.
So